Her boobs are really nice, right? The friendly-looking guy beside me said in a dazed tone. Yeah, they are. I answered before my brain caught up with my mouth. Thankfully, I'd spoken softly, and nobody around us seemed to notice. Back then, I had no idea I'd be seeing those same breasts from up close in the near future. I'm Billy, by the way, he said, tearing his eyes from Madeline's chest just long enough to glance at my face before going right back to staring. Michael, I replied. The fight in the ring was getting serious. From the way they moved, it was clear both Nigel and Madeline were using proper weapon styles. Either one of them could kill me in a second, even if I circulated the complete set of my supreme combat exercise. Then the rhythm of the battle changed. A large amount of ghostly green smoke started leaking from Nigel's body. It thickened and condensed in a floating fist the size of basketballs. In just a heartbeat, 6 of those eerie, fog-like fists formed around him, drifting in the air like ghostly satellites. Take this, Nigel shouted. He sent the 6 solidified smoke fists hurtling toward Madeline. At the same time, Madeline began her defense. Hexagonal glass, plates the size of a fist materialized in front of her, snapping together in rapid succession until they formed a solid shield. It all happened so fast, I barely caught the process of those half-skills forming. Bang! 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 The smoke fists slammed into the glass, shield one after another. Instead of dispersing on impact, they lingered, still under Nigel's control as he repeatedly smashed them against the barrier. His expression tightened when he realized that even after so many hits, not a single fist had broken through. Madeline's shield held firm until the last ghostly fist finally dissipated. By then, spiderweb cracks covered the entire surface of the glass. One more full power strike, and it probably would have shattered. Do you know what those half-skills are? I asked Billy. You don't? He replied, looking at me in confusion. I was about to admit I didn't have access to that kind of information yet, but he cut in, Oh, you must still be at the private stage, right? I nodded. He hadn't been mocking me. In a place like this, most tenants were specialist grade or higher, so he'd probably assumed I was too. Sorry about that. I didn't realize, Billy apologized. It's fine, I said. Unless someone actively released their aura, you couldn't accurately judge their level, especially before the corporal stage. Once you reach corporal, your senses sharpened enough that you could roughly gauge the strength of anyone below you. There was also a strict law in the Republic. You could only access information appropriate for your power grade. At private stage, I could only read material useful for private stage evolvers. To access higher stage information, I'd either have to advance myself or get my clearance upgraded by someone higher ranked, like a lieutenant grade evolver. The half-skill Nigel used is called Deca Smoke Fist, Billy explained. It's derived from a full skill known as Hex Smoke Skill. With the half-skill, you can create up to 10 smoke fists. The original skill can create up to 100. And Madeline? I asked. The half-skill she used is Minor Glass Shield. It comes from the full-skill Glass Shield, the signature defensive skill of the Glass Knights. Only those at Class A or above are allowed to learn it, he said. There was a flicker of envy in his eyes as he spoke about Glass Shield. Being the signature defense skill of a major organization, it was bound to be powerful. Madeline's intelligence is insane, Billy continued in a shocked tone. It's only been 2 days since she joined the Glass Knights, and she's already got basic mastery over it. From the looks on people's faces around us, I could tell this kind of progress usually took a lot longer than 2 days. The fight went on, and more people began drifting into the training facility. Soon the place was close to packed. Clearly, a lot of them had called their friends over. Battles like this were rare. Madeline, can you at least tell me why you don't like me? Just give me one reason, please, Nigel asked in a near-pleading tone during a brief lull. Madeline didn't answer. She stayed silent and focused, simply countering his every move. Nigel must really like her to ask that in front of everyone without caring about his reputation. Nigel's a good guy, Billy said quietly. But he's way too obsessed with Madeline. If he could put even half of that obsession into training, he'd go really far. If he can't, he won't progress much in the future. You know him? I asked. Yeah, he's my best friend. We grew up in the same town, Billy said, a bit of warmth entering his voice. Hearing that, I really wanted to curse Billy in my heart. If he's your best friend, why are you staring at his crush's chest like that? At least show your friend some respect, and don't eye his crush's assets so shamelessly. I definitely wouldn't want a friend like Billy ogling my girlfriend like that. If you manage to defeat me, I'll tell you, Madeline said softly. The instant she spoke, the crowd fell silent, everyone staring at Nigel. To their disappointment, he just nodded and didn't say anything, but his attacks suddenly grew fiercer. Bang, bang, bang. Spear and gauntlets crashed against each other over and over. From the outside, it was hard to tell who would win. They seemed evenly matched in raw power. The battle dragged on for nearly 3 hours with no clear result. If you trusted only your eyes, you might say Nigel had a slight edge, but it was still far from decided. They traded heavy blows nonstop, neither willing to back down. Someone even started a betting pool, and a lot of people were putting their money on Nigel. The chances of Nigel winning are actually pretty low, Billy said suddenly. Why? From the way they're fighting, it looks like he has the advantage, I replied. Billy just smiled. You'll see. Even while talking, he hadn't taken his eyes off Madeline's chest the entire time. Another 2 hours passed before the tide suddenly turned. Black strings shot out from the tip of Madeline's spear, snaking through the air faster than I could track. They wrapped around Nigel in an instant, binding him tightly. Before he could launch any counterattack, the tip of her spear stopped at his neck. It happened so quickly, I almost missed it entirely. We once accidentally saw Madeline use that half-skill outside, Billy said. It was the same. The monster didn't even have time to react before the string bounded, and her spear pierced its skull. Madeline stepped out of the ring and left the training facility, spear in hand. Nigel stood frozen where he was, unable to accept how easily he'd lost. Zip! Suddenly, Billy vanished from in front of me. When I looked up, he was already on the stage, one arm around Nigel's shoulders, guiding him toward the exit. I sucked in a breath. A moment ago, that chubby guy had been right beside me. The next second, he was across the arena. My father's warning before I left home echoed in my mind. In a big city, everyone walks carefully around the real powerhouses. I let out a quiet sigh. He'd been absolutely right. Soon after Madeline and Nigel's battle ended, most people drifted out of the training facility. The place felt strangely quiet compared to just a while ago. That fight had been a real eye-opener for me. There were still a few people around, either sparring in the rings or heading into private training rooms, but the crowd had thinned a lot. Seeing an empty ring, I stepped into it and released my aura slightly. These rings were specially set up for sparring. All you had to do was stand inside, and anyone interested could enter to challenge you. No need to walk up and ask people one by one. If someone wanted to fight, they'd come on their own. My only worry was that no one would. Most residents in this building were already at the specialist stage, and very few were below that. Just living here cost nearly $20,000 a month, so not many low-level evolvers could afford it. I waited 15 minutes. Just when I was about to leave, thinking no one would show up, a shifty-eyed young man walked toward the ring. Do you mind if I spar with you? I should tell you first, I'm at level 3 of the private stage, he said. No problem, I replied. I didn't mind him being level 3. My original plan had been to spar with a level 2 evolver first, and then move up to level 3. Looked like I was skipping straight to the harder part. Nice to meet you. I'm Bert, the young man said as we both stepped properly inside the ring. Nice to meet you too. I'm Micheal, I answered. This is going to be fun. Rookie Crusher Bert is about to crush another rookie, one guy in the crowd said to his friends as they noticed Bert entering the ring. A bunch of people turned our way, interested as soon as they heard that nickname. This rookie's pretty unlucky. Remember the last one Bert crushed? That guy cried in the ring. Another laughed. Yeah, and Bert uploaded the whole video to the building feed, so everyone could watch it. That poor guy moved out within a week. At least thanks to Madeline and Nigel's fight, not as many people came over this time. Even if this rookie cries, half the building won't see it live, another said. This one's going to get beaten even worse. The last rookie was level 3. This one's only level 2. Bert's way stronger. He's fought a lot of level 1 specialists and rarely loses. He's even beaten a few of the weaker ones, a pixie-haired girl added. The others nodded, already picturing me getting destroyed. Bert and I stood opposite each other as a countdown from 10 appeared in the air at the center of the ring. I began circulating the moves of the Supreme Combat Exercise and stopped at the 13th move. At the same time, I started operating my refinement engine to sharpen and refine my mana. I gripped my practice sword and took an attacking stance. Compared to me, Bert looked relaxed, almost casual, holding his staff loosely in one hand. Trang! The bell rang, and we attacked at the same time. Swish! His staff cut through the air toward my head, the sound sharp enough to make me instinctively tense. Without hesitation, I pushed my mana further and shifted into the 18th move of the exercise. Clank! Our weapons collided. A jolt ran on my arms, but I didn't step back. For a brief moment, I saw a real surprise flash across Bert's face. He hit it quickly, but I'd already caught it. Your skill's not bad, Bert said. I just smiled and kept quiet. Not many people had eyes sharp enough to see I wasn't using a standard combat skill, but the Supreme Combat Exercise itself. Clang, clang, clang. Our weapons clashed again and again. Bert was clearly skilled with the staff. Several times, his strikes grazed my clothes, narrowly missing my body. I, on the other hand, could barely get my sword within proper striking range. That damn staff. Its reach was too long, and with his advanced weapon style, he kept me at a perfect distance, harassing me nonstop. Clank! Our weapons met in a heavy blow, and this time we both took a step back. Ha! We both laughed lightly. Right now, we were evenly matched. I was using more raw power in my strikes, but Bert's experience showed in the way he smoothly deflected and redirected my attacks. I was really enjoying the fight. If a level 3 red nail rat had been standing where Bert was, I would have taken it down easily, 3 of them even. But fighting a human was different. No matter how I changed my moves, Bert adjusted and countered without giving me any clean opening. Clank, clank, clank. Suddenly Bert changed his fighting style. His staff became like a bloodhound. Wherever I moved, the staff followed, pressing me relentlessly and barely giving me room to breathe, let alone counterattack. I shifted into the 19th move of the exercise to relieve some of the pressure. Strength and speed surged through me, and I finally managed to push back a little, forcing Bert to defend more than attack. Seeing that he was starting to lose his edge, Bert's strikes grew even stronger, forcing me to raise my circulation again and move into the 20th cycle of the exercise just to block his blows. While we fought, he didn't seem to notice that more and more people had gathered around the ring. Wow, this rookie is actually good, a young man said to his friends. Yeah, look at Bert's face. He looks like he swallowed a bug. I really hope he gets taken down a peg, his friend muttered, a hopeful look on his face. Don't daydream. This rookie's going to get beaten just like you did, another one in their group said. The hopeful one's expression darkened. He still remembered his own first day here 3 months ago, when he'd eagerly sparred with Bert. Bert had beaten and humiliated him in front of everyone, then uploaded the video to the building feed for all the residents to watch. Plenty of strong people had wanted to teach Bert a lesson, but no one dared because his father was the superintendent of the building and a corporal-level evolver. Even now, Bert's only fighting at about 70%, said the strongest-looking boy in the group. He hasn't even used his power or skills yet. That shut everyone up, and they turned their full attention back to the ring.
Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
Clank, clank, clank. Our attacks met each other hundreds of times our weapon clashed, but we can't seem to decide the winner. Seeing this, Bert's expression is ugly, then it suddenly turned crafty for a second before returning back to his ugly expression. Swish, when Bert's staff is in midair attacking me, its speed suddenly increased. And at the moment it appeared in front of me, without giving me chance to defend, I hastily put my sword in front of me to block the staff. Clank, thud, thud, thud. The staff hit me so hard that I have to more than 10 steps backward to diffuse its force and stop myself from vomiting the blood. This move is really crafty and well-timed. He had suddenly increased the power of staff when it's in midair and attacked me. Using the time of my retreating, I started to circulate advanced moves of the exercise, and I got surprised that I was able to reach the 24th circulation, but I did not get to celebrate, because Bert's bloodhound-like staff speedily closing on me. Clang! Both of weapons collided and intense shock appeared on his face because this is the first time I have the upper hand in the fight against Bert. Stabilizing myself, I initiated the attack against him. Clank, clank, clang. Swing of after swing, I attacked Bert. He countered my moves easily with his staff. I just had a fraction of upper hand in this, but is not enough to bring big change into a fight. "You are very good," Bert said with a smile, but his smile looked quite weird. "Thank you," I replied to his compliment. After talking to me, his moves became more aggressive, but I am easily able to fend them off. In this fight, I don't have to worry about the mana. Supreme Combat Exercise used very little mana, and I still have about 50–60% mana in my central storage, and I can always refine new mana clouds which surrounding my refinement engine. Bert is looking really angry. This is the first time I've seen him in this condition, especially against Private Grade Evolver. Usually, he finished his fights against Private Grade within an hour, said one boy. Really, they were a little startled. Bert fighting against Evolver who is lower level in this, and having a hard time against winning him. Don't forget, Bert hadn't used his all yet. He had yet to use his power and skills yet. When he will use power or skill, the fight will be over in minutes, said another boy watching this fight. The crowd watching the battle has increased a lot. There are nearly 300 people are watching. Ever since the battle had started, someone had anonymously left a message on the building feed that Rookie Crusher being crushed by Rookie. Lots of new people had come to watch the battle. If a normal battle, not the battle between Rookie Crusher and Rookie, and not being a lot of people being discontent by Bert, not many people would have come to watch this battle. Clank, clank, clank. We fought on. I'm feeling little down. Whatever fractions of superiority that I had gained against Bert had vanished as Bert changed his fighting style. He moves to become more smooth and refined. SSSS. I let out a sharp breath as Bert's staff grazed past my soldier. Many times I barely dodged his attack, and many times his staff grazed me, bringing stinging pain. This stinging pain is nothing compared to the soul-stinging pain I am feeling due to circulating the 24th cycle of Supreme Combat Exercise. I've tried many times to break past the 24th move of the exercise. I find there is a giant wall blocking my way that is not letting me pass. Seeing my mana storage lessening, I stopped the Mama re-refinement, purifying process and started to absorb the mana cloud into my refinement engine. It will not take long. Within 15–45 minutes, my central storage will again fill up 75% to 80%. The battle raged on for again half an hour, but there's no change in the situation. I had a feeling that Bert hadn't given an all. He is still holding back something. I am vigilantly keeping eye on his every move. I don't be startled like before when he powers up his attack, when he was midair attacking me. From the Bert's aggressive attacks, I can tell that he is seriously trying to hurt me. It is not just friendly spar anymore, but become a full-fledged fight that I intend to win, and for that, every minute I am trying to breaking past 24th move of the exercise. But no matter how much I try, I can't seem to break that wall. Whenever I try to break it, it won't break, just leave some ripples on it. I played enough Micheal. Now I will fight for real. Bert said. Big smile blossomed on his face, and cherry red colored fire enveloped his staff. He attacks me with fiery staff. I also lighten my sword with silver fire and swing my sword to counter it. Clank whoosh. As our sword touched, the fire on our weapons blasted apart by a shock wave on both of our bodies. Deadly hot waves of heat wash all over my body, but didn't affect me in any way. I didn't even flinch seeing that. A shocked expression appeared on the bar's face seeing this. He probably counting on fire to injure me or distract me, but seeing there even no change in my expression, he becomes completely shocked seeing that. There are two reasons for his fire didn't affect me a bit. First is Ashland Silver. As fire user myself, I have some fire immunity, but despite this little immunity, my skin definitely would have scorched by his fire, if not for me circulating supreme combat exercise, which makes a defense of my body stronger. As we fight, Bert's face becoming more and more ugly, and his blazing fire's heat having no effect on me. As long as his fire didn't touch me directly, I will not get injured. Even if it did touch me, my skin will have some scorching marks, that's all. As long as I kept circulating exercise, my offense and defense always be good. I called back my silver fire from my sword as it is waste of mana, and is no use against Bert as he also had fire immunity. But my choice seemed to irk Bert. His expression became so ugly seeing me calling back my fire. "You fucking cockroach, you won't just take a beating," he said as maniac expression comes across his face, totally different from his soft smile earlier. I started to get a bad feeling about this and attack him with wild abandon. But his defense is too tight. I can't get close to him because of his fucking staff. I started attack wall to break past 24th move of the exercise, but it is no use. That wall wouldn't budge. "You're very lucky, Micheal. You'll get to experience my half-skill not people get to experience," he said, and vine made of fire started to form on his staff, and soon hydrangea flower started to grow out of vines, and quickly fist-sized hydrangea formed on the vines. "Take this," Bert shouted as whirled his staff toward me, and 9 hydrangea flowers made of concentrated fire whirled toward me. It all happened so fast that it left me no chance to dodge. Time had slowed down as hundreds of thoughts came in my mind to how to defend against those flowers, but one is useful. I can see each and every movement of those flowers as they whirled toward me. I know, even when the flower to touch me, I will be heavily injured and likely spend a week in the hospital, and this bird is smart that he didn't aim any of my vital spot, or building grade 2 weapon would have tranquilized him. Seeing there is no option but take this attack head on, gritting my teeth, I circulated my mana violently, in big to break that wall, and violently rage my mana against that wall. "Boom!" sounded inside me as wall broke, and immense pain drowned on me, but I gritted my teeth and endured as I have to survive these flaming hydrangea flowers. In this immense pain, I didn't notice that my mana rapidly draining away to form Mystery's seal on the center of my temple, which is also center of magic veins inside human bodies. Swish, swish, swish. I cut all the 9 hydrangea flowers and speedily moved toward Bert, who is standing on the ring with a shocked expression like a dumb chicken. I moved behind him and hit his head with the hilt of my sword. Thud. He unconsciously fell on the floor with a thud, but my sword also fell from my hand as me feeling very weak. I somehow sat on the floor and closed my eyes to look for a reason for weakness. When I looked inside me, I got startled by seeing my mana getting speedily, but then I laughed out loudly, understanding the reason. This is happening because I have truly completed the one set of supreme combat exercise, and the seal forming on the temple is proof of it. From now on, all the power I got when I'm circulating 24th move of the exercise, it will completely merge with my body and will belong to me and became mine. Now, every move of mine will be infused with the power of the first set of exercise. Every time I circulate the supreme combat exercise in my body will be the second set of supreme combat exercise. When I complete second set, I will form a second seal. If I able to for 10 seals on my temple, they will merge and bring qualitative change in my body. The higher the circulation of move would be, the more immense pain I will have to endure. This is also the reason why very, very few people practice the supreme combat exercise. Soon the seal had completed forming, and it released warm current from it. I felt the warm current energy spreading all over my body, enriching every cell of my body. I feel so refreshed, feel like all the impurities are being washed away by that gentle current. The most important is that I feel strength raging through my body. I have merged with power that I got circulating the 24th move of the supreme combat exercise. Now I'm back to circulating the first move of the exercise, but it will be second set's first move, and the pain will be more immense than the pain I felt circulating the first set. I still remember earlier when I broke the wall of 24th levels, the pain, it was so immense that leg goes circulating after hitting Bert's head with practice sword's hilt. The only dangerous thing about this process that it took too much mana It has completely emptied all the mana clouds that were lingering around my refinement engine, and also taken nearly all the mana that I had in my central storage, leaving behind less than a 5% of it. When I am fighting Bert, and after it, I didn't notice that there was a lot of crowds watching me and Bert fight. When I open me, I see more than 100 people looking toward me and discussing something. The interesting thing I keep hearing, Rookie Crusher got crushed, many of them as they looked at the still unconscious Bert. Good fight. You really crushed the Rookie Crusher, said a boy. Hearing this, all people started to laugh. Many people started to praise me for winning the fight. I just smiled at them and started to walk toward the door. Suddenly, the training hall becomes silent when I look to see the reason for silence. It is the man in his early 40s who is walking towards Bert. He lifted Bert on his shoulder and started to walk back toward the elevator, but he suddenly stopped. Good fight, he said with a small smile, but his eyes were scary. His face was all smile, but his eyes had anger. I could clearly see it. Who is he? I asked the group of youths. He is Bert's father and also superintendent of the building. He said. I got a little startled after that, but then shrugged off. He would be that petty to harm just because I defeated his son in the fight. Be careful. Bert had an elder brother who is very petty. He said, even if his brother is specialist what he can do, he can't blatantly beat me in the building without cause and outside of the building. He won't have guts to do that because the city had very strict rules against violence in the city. You don't have to worry, though. He left on the mission. He will not return in a month, said another young man. He clearly hinting me that I can easily change apartment in that time. Thank for the advice, I said to them and walked to the elevator. I will not change my apartment because of the fear of his brother and father if worse comes see. Worst, I'll endure it till I have enough power to fight back. It is already night when I enter my apartment. I am feeling so tired despite my body filled with vigor. It was due to mana. It is said that the body always has a 10% mana in their body, or they will feel tired and weak. Choo choo choo. Ashlyn come out me and nodded in affirmation. Completing one set exercise also brought change into her body, making her body stronger and faster. I never able to read the reason behind that. It may do how humans got the monster's power from them, so it could happen vice versa. As I completed the first set of supreme combat exercise and integrated its power inside, Ashlyn must have shared that benefit as her mana is also about 10% left. Choo choo choo, she called out again. I am hungry too. I am ordering food from Building Kitchen. It will arrive in 10 minutes, I said to her, and ordered a takeouts from Building a Kitchen. This food I ordered is very special. It is monster meat, which cooked chef who specializes in cooking monsters' meat dishes. My mouth started to water, as normally cooked monster meat is so tasty, then I can't imagine how it would taste like after cooked by the chef. Ding ding, doorbell rang through my apartment. I opened my apartment door to find a square-shaped drone flying from my door. I flashed my holowatch to it. After receiving ID check, its front opened, revealing 2 dinner boxes. I took out 2 dinner boxes from the drone and closed the door of my apartment. Choo choo, Ashlyn cried out as she asked for her dinner. Calm down. The dinner is not going anywhere, I said. They put 2 boxes on kitchen stand and opened, then a mouth-watering smell come out of food boxes. Ashlyn didn't even let the steam out boxes before she started to eat. Seeing her, I also started to eat. I let out the sound as I took the first bite of the food. It is really delicious, the most delicious food I've ever eaten. Every bite gives a juicy flavor of the meat with spicy ting in it. This is the first time I've ever eaten well-made monster food, and I loved, but it also cost a pretty penny. It is 400 credits for 2 boxes of food, nearly double what I'm going to spend for each day on the food. But tasting the food is worth it, and it is the cheapest dish on the menu, which is specialist grade monsters meat. If I were to order a dish made the heart of specialist grade monster, it would cost thousands of credits. I ordered this food from the kitchen because I want to taste how food made by the monster chef would taste like, and I have to. It tastes really good, but what a pity we can't eat this type of food as all my money will vanish if we keep eating this food every day. I plan on going outside after 3 days. I first decided to only hunt private stage monster, but earlier today, I had merged with the power of the first set exercise. Because of that, I will see if I could hunt any LV.1 specialist grade monsters. Choo choo, Ashlyn called out. You're so glutton. You already ate and now you ask for mine, I said to her. Really, she ate food more twice much her size, but she's still asking for more. Take this. I took a small portion of my box, gave it to her. Chew. She cried out, feeling dissatisfied with the portion of food she received. You will not get any more, I said sternly. She did ask for more again and ate her fill with her neck down. After I finished with eating, I removed the fist-sized machine from the drawer. Its square is shaped and had a single clear, luminous line across it. I put monster core inside it and activated it. It cleanly divided into 20 parts. I took out 1/20th part of the monster core from the machine and feed it, Ashlyn. Choo-choo, she called out after tasting its bitter taste, but soon felt a surge of mana rushing inside her and stopped complaining. Good night, Ashlyn, I said to her as I laid on the bed to sleep. I plan on going early in the training facility to train. Training. The alarm rang out from my holowatch, waking me and Ashlyn both. Last night, I had set an alarm. At 5:30, it's Westwood City's dawn. Today, as we will go for training and hunting outside, I had already made all preparations last. Packed everything, whatever I will need outside. Now, I just have to freshen up and eat. Good morning, Ashlyn, I said to Ashlyn. She just cocked her head a little as she heard my greeting and went back to the staring at the balcony. For 3, she had been not talking to me. The next morning, after we ordered that delicious food, I gave her she's regular packet food, but she refused to eat and demanded we order same delicious food that we ordered last night, but I refused. I had tried to appease her, saying after we killed some specialist stage monsters and got some money after selling, we will order monsters food daily, but she refused to listen and stopped talking to me. She did eat her regular food, sometime later as she felt hungry, but to this day, she is being stubborn and did not talk to me. Seeing still not looking, I smiled and walked toward the bathroom to freshen up and take bath. After freshen up, I picked her from the balcony and combed her feathers with a brush. She may be not talking, but still, let me comb her feathers every day. There are 2 things Ashlyn is caring about. First is delicious food, and second is her grooming. She will even forget her mortal enemy for a few minutes as long as he gave her delicious food and groom her. She flew away from me automatically after I comb her feathers for 10 minutes. I put back the comb into the drawer by the bed and removes 2 packets of preserved food and a small part of specialist grade monster core for Ashlyn to eat. I microwaved mine and put her into her bowl as she liked to heat her food herself. She ate her food with grudging expression. Before tasting monster food made in the hands of chef, she had no problem eating this food. But since 3 days ago, she ate that delicious food, she formed the grudge against this preserved monster food. I wore a gray suit which had light armor, clothing sewing above vital parts of the body. The training suit is medium quality and defend against any attack of private stage monster and can lessen the blow of initial specialist grade. And it is in trend and looked very good on me. Let's go, Ashlyn, I said as I walked toward the door. She flew from the balcony window and sat atop of my head. She knows I don't like it when she sat on the head, but she's been doing from past 3 days just to irk me. I didn't bother saying something to her because I know she will not go to listen. Myasta Park is the most dangerous forest in the Republic. The deeper you go, most dangerous monsters you will find. Our continent, which only 15% occupied by a human, while rest by monsters, except the city's no area, could be called safe. Sometimes even cities got destroyed by the Horde. In this cruel world, only strong can survive. West Blood City is established on the outskirts of Myasta Forest and home for nearly 20 million adventurers, but when you venture into Myasta Park, you hardly come across another human being. I had ordered hover car that will take me to first gate of the city, and from there, I will take another hover car, which will drop me near Austin Lake. Austin Lake is a destination I chose for the monster hunting. It is the area where peak private grade and initial specialist grade monster reside. It is the best place for me to hunt monsters and train, and it is also one popular spot where peak private stage evolver train. Despite being popular area, is still cover big areas. Auden Lake spread in 40 kilometers area, and it will be very hard to seek for help if I found myself in difficult position. The hover car came, and in half an hour, it dropped me at first gate, and my first time seeing gigantic force field wall up close. There's big square is open between them for the field to let transport pass through. It dropped me outside big wall near the bazaar. There's big bazaar just outside the first wall. It is known as Myasta Bazaar for its close proximity to Myasta Park. It is set up for the convenience of adventurers. They can easily sell the monster material they had hunted and get a good price. The Mayasta Bazaar sells and buys everything whatever an adventurer need. Every grade of magic weapon you will find it here. It is also the hub where all big, small organizations buy raw materials for them. Not just monster material, rare and precious herbs, minerals, gems, etc. You can sell and buy everything here. This bazaar had a specialty that it can be disbanded at a moment's notice if the monster horde or any other emergency ever come across the city. The market will be expanded within half an hour. There are more than 20,000 small and big shops in the bazaar, but if the need arises, they can be disbanded within minutes. I don't have anything to buy, as I already brought everything from the mall and other things that I can't afford to buy. Ashlyn, who is using my head, as Nest looking around curiously, as this is also hers first time seeing such crowd in one place. She many times asked me to buy food for her, seeing thousands of restaurants and smelling mouth-watering smell coming from, but I declined her wish. That further ruffled her feather. In a tantrum, she started to mess with my hair in the anger. I strode in the market for half an hour before ordered the ride. It will drop me as close Austin Lake within the limit of communication. In Mayasta Park, any form of modern technological communications doesn't work, so it will drop me at the limit of communication range. Soon my ride came. This hover car, little different than hover cars that run on the city. These are heavily armored and have to pay more than 10 times for their service. I got in the car, and it begins to speed up. I again started to study the map, which I brought at a high price from the web. After going over it one more time, I closed it as the car had reached the destination. It landed near on open space, as all around me a tall tree. As soon as I landed, it flew away automatically, closing the door. I once again projected the map from my HoloWatch to reassess my location. I have to walk 8 kilometers to reach the outskirts of Austin Lake. Without wasting any time, I strode toward it. The sound of monsters could be heard all over the forest. I have come across many low-level monsters, but I didn't bother with them as long as they didn't bother me. Swish! I killed the LV2 private grade monster in one move. I did not even collect its material because they're not worth much and only dead weight. I'm only going to take Hearts LV. 3 private grade monsters because they sold at 500 credits while other parts are not worth taking. Only specialist grade monsters are treasure. That is why I have come to the Austin Lake, to hunt specialist grade monsters. Soon I reached the outskirt of Austin Lake. The lake is some 10 to 15 kilometers away, but this is an area where initial specialist grade monsters and peak private grade monsters are found. Growl! I heard. When I looked toward it, it is Swift Gale Cougar. It looked quite young and at LV3 private grade. Its fur looked luxurious and shiny, and it is one of the monsters that are in high demand. Swift Gale Cougars inhabit mountainous region, which is ahead of Austin Lake. They rarely venture in the Austin Lake. This young Swift Gale Cougar must have got lost from its mother. It dashed towards me, ferocious glint in its eyes. I just swiftly remove my sword and wait for it to come closer, as it is 3 meters ahead of me. It suddenly jumps with intentions of biting my neck. It is fast, but I can clearly see. I gripped my sword and stood in my original position. I want to let it come closer to me and decapitate it in a single move. Just as it came close, and only at hand distance from, I swing my sword to cut its neck in a single move. Slick spurt. My sword touched across its neck, but as my sword enters the inch deep and draws out a spurt of blood, but it changed its direction midair by swinging its body at an unnatural angle and fled into the forest and soon disappeared into the forest. Really, it's swift as Gale, as it named. Damn, I said as such price got away. Just the price of its fur is equal to the LV.1 specialist grade monster cores. Those red nail rats that we encountered are one of the weakest monster special. Even that cougar monster that I just fought just now can easily kill 10s of initial level specialist grade red nail rats. I was too overconfident just now. I thought I could kill it with one swing, but I didn't consider that Swift Gale Cougar, as its name suggests, is extremely fast, especially when its life is in danger. Sigh. I sighed and take a note to remember full details about the monster that I am fighting. I walk toward the lake. I plan to 5 km away from the lake, this, neither close to lake nor too far. I chose this distance because I do not want to alert another monster while I'm fighting the different monster. Choo-choo. Ashlyn called out. Telepathy, she told me to look left when I see in the bushes is a brown strip badger, and it was preparing to launch sneak attack me. Is LV Point one a specialist grade monster? Seeing being caught, it didn't shrink in the bushes but come to attack me, he head on. Clank, clank, clank. Sparks fly out as its nails and my sword met. This brown strips badger monster is tall as my thighs and has nails that are double size of a palm. Good, I said, and I fought against this badger. This badger is strong as Bert and very agile despite its chubby figure. The good this is that it didn't have any casting elemental/long range powers, or it will be very hectic. What I see in front of me is not brown strip badger monster, but possible 8,000 credits. Being specialist grade monster, not just its core is important. Its skin, meat, and nails will also fetch a good price. Slick, I aim for its neck, but it dodges on the time, while my sword got few of its hair. Clang, clang. My sword clashed with the monster, but never able to injure it. One of my weaknesses is that I'm having difficulties following it. Due to its an agile body, it could easily climb the tree and dodge my attack at last second. It's not that I don't have the strength to follow it. It's that I don't have a method to utilize that strength to its the apex. Combat styles are these methods. They have complicated movements, can be used in any environment or terrain or situation. With a combat weapon, I can draw out the full potential of my body. Clang. I defended from its attack as it attacked me from the tree. It does it all the time since we were fighting. It is not missing any chance of attacking me. It is a good thing that power of the first set of exercise has merged with me. With that power, I can fend off its attack. In 3 days, have never successfully circulated the moves of the exercise. The immense pain hit me as soon as I started to circulate it. It is many times stronger than the 24th movement of the first set. Feeling that pain, I just never want to do it again. I've been fighting Badger for an hour, but I've never able to injure it because of its damn agility, and Ashlyn isn't helping me as she is still angry with me. Ashlyn, if you help me now, I promise I'll order delicious food for you daily as long as we have money for it money. I said half an hour ago. I've also given her offer for a whole week and then a month, but she refused to budge, saying she wanted to eat that delicious food every day. Hearing her say that through our emotion bond, I didn't give another offer to her again, thinking I'll be able to defeat this badger soon. But half an hour passes, and that badger is still energetic as ever. Choo-choo, she cried out with her head high arrogantly and flew away from my ear. Badger got cautious after that in fighting, but after 15 minutes she flew away and didn't near. He let go of his cautions. Clang, clang. Brown stripped badger monster, and I kept fighting. As for Ashlyn, she is hiding in the sky, waiting for form order to attack. I want this fight finished one move, as she sneaked attack on. Now, I said as Badger jumped down from a tall tree to attack me. Whoosh, a big silver fireball, double the size of Ashlyn, rained down from the sky, aiming for Badger. Seeing a big fireball coming toward it with full speed, monster agility changed in the direction in midair. Stab thud. I stab its skull in a single move, and it fell on the ground. I have been carefully observing this badger for an hour and a half, studying all of his moves when it jumps from tall tree to attack me. I saw it as the best chance for attack, and order Ashlyn to attack with a fireball that she had been holding on for a while. I already expected it to dodge the attack, seeing its agility. I just wanted to dodge it. It dodged in the left direction as I predicted, and I had already moved there when Monster Mind was occupied with the incoming sneak attack, and when it moved left to dodge, it already served itself to on silver platter, and I just have to stab it. Chew-a-chew. Ashlyn cried out victoriously. Good job, Ashlyn, I said and patted her as she was flying in front of me in joy. I looked the dead body of the monster on the ground, bleeding it from a stab wound. On the minutes later, even bleeding had stopped. I put down my backpack and remove all the things which I need to skin the monster. Ashlyn keeps an eye around. I said, Chew. She cried out and flew away on the tallest tree to watch the surrounding. I carefully skinned the monster without damaging much with my sword. I removed core, heart, and meat, and other monster parts. I quickly pocketed the core in my pocket as it most important and expensive part of the monster's body. Separating all of it, I removed the preservation cubes and placed them on the heart and meat of the monster. The preservation will keep the meat fresh and safe. The preservation cube melted as soon as it touched the monster's parts and started to encase all in its film automatically. Soon all of the parts covered in the thin, transparent film. I put monster heart and skin and nails inside my backpack, as they take less weight on my backpack, and I buried the meat, which is heaviest in the ground. I will take it out on my way back to the city. Ashlyn, let's go, I said as I burned waste material of monster. I again begin to walk with Ashlyn and two, as we again searching for a new monster to hunt. It was a very good hunt. If I take it back everything to the city, it would fetch me 8,000 easily. Now, it is only late morning. I have the whole day to hunt. If I could find one or more specialist stage monster, I could easily earn 20 to 25,000 easily. I was basking in the glory of a recent kill when the very nauseating smell hit me. I thought it was the smell of rotten monster and about to walk away around it, but being curious, I took a peek where the rotten smell was coming from. Gasp! I gasped from what I saw. It was a half-rotten body of human being. Its half-skeleton could be seen in rotten flesh, and most of the bones on the skeleton looked broken. It didn't look like a monster, did it? He doesn't have any accessory on him except for his clothes. I can tell he's killed by humans, but after killing him, they didn't do the basic courtesy to bury or burn his body. At least it's something they can do, but they didn't. Seeing this body, I remember what I have read and heard about solo adventurers. Only 6 out of 10 can remain alive in their first year of adventuring. To them, it's not just danger of monster, but also the fellow humans. Enduring the rotten smell, I got closer to it and threw a fireball at it to burn the body. Soon body started to burn. As a decent human being, this is least I could do to burn his body and bury his ashes in the ground. This body took longer than I thought to burn. The normal private stage body could burn within a minute, and that specialist grade monster was turned into ash within few minutes. But this rotten body took nearly half an hour to turn in ash. I waited till the whole body turned in ash and dug a small hole beside to bury the ashes in it. I wore the gloves before touching the ashes. I consider myself a nice person, but I am not that nice to touch ashes of an unknown person with naked hand. I pick ashes with both of my hand, put in the hole that I just dug. My hands touch some solid in the ashes. Thinking it is stone, I let be, but when I throwing ashes into the hole, I got a clear look at. It is thumbnail-sized, transparent, tiny glass box. I put it back on the ground to inspect later. After burying the ashes of that man, wash my hand and that tiny box with water. When I carefully looked at it, that inside the tiny glass box is a tiny copper color thing. I couldn't contain my curiosity and opens the box. Oh, my God! I shout out. It is a relic of the past. Inside the box is a small chip which people used thousands of years ago to store the data. This is a huge fortune. There's a high demand on the market about this past relic. It is data chip that was used to store data in it. If put on the site, I will get millions of offers. I still remember the news I've read 2 years ago, written by women who found this type of data chip by luck. A woman found the chip of this kind when she was planting flowers in garden and thinking of it just trinket of the past. She put on the web for auction casually and didn't expect much from it. But in middle of the night, she was woken by the insane amounts of notification. Thousands, and overnight, it had reached millions of notification had rung on her HoloWatch about the offer for data chip. That chip was sold to more than 100 million credits, and she said if there was even an ounce of data in that chip, she could have gotten 10 times more than she got from the empty chip. Feeling excited, I hastily open the glass box and activate the scanner of my HoloWatch to scan that chip. The HoloWatch has a function to scan many things, and reading these data chip is a very simple thing for it. My heart thumped as my HoloWatch is scanning the chip. I prayed that it had some kind of data in it, so its price could rise again. By selling this chip, I will get enough money that I can peacefully train, and maybe you'll even have a chance to become Master Grade Evolver and participate in the League of Heroes. In second the process of scanning is over, I carefully put the chip back into my backpack safe to space them. I looked at HoloWatch to see if that chip had any data stored in it. Yes. I shouted top of my lungs when I find there is a file, but I got little disappointed when I see there's only one file. I cursed myself for being over greedy. I touched open the file and greeted by the book cover. It is a book, and I got pleasantly surprised by seeing familiar languages, just that it is written in a different format. When I read the cover of the book, I stayed silent a while. Even I don't know what to and what to feel, but one thing I'm sure I absolutely can't anyone knows that I've data chip relic or the information it contained. Even I'm mostly clueless about the world can feel what catastrophe it will bring me or my family because of the title of the book is The Complete Mysteries of Totems by Alexander Copperfield. Totem is sacred. Those who can construct it are considered elite. As far as I know, no one in the Republic understands the runes from which totems and mana refinement engine are created. And this book had complete information about totem creating, an introduction of each and every rune to algorithms and formulas. Everything is there. I didn't understand much after reading some pages. It will require a detailed study of years to fully understand this book, but in that time, I have to make sure I will not tell a soul about it. After closing the window, I burn the surrounding area, which had my smell, and walks away. I have to leave an hour before the dusk. In the night, monsters became more active. After walking 15 minutes in the forest, I didn't encounter monster that I want to kill. All were low-level monster, but still I didn't dare to go too close to the lake, that the place where groups of monsters gather. Any group of 5 to 6 monsters of specialist grade can easily kill me. I heard faint metallic sounds on the west side. Some people must be fighting near. Curiously, I walked toward it. As I got closer, sounds of fighting became more distinct. Not long after I reached near the fighting scene, 2 people not much older than me, a boy and girl, were fighting 4 aquabulls. They didn't look like they were surrounded by monsters, but hunting them. They all are at LV.1 specialist stage. Seeing those 4 aquabull monsters, I felt jealous. That's not just aquabulls, but 50,000 credits or more. Due to their big size, their meat would sell for more money than their monster cores. I left after watching the fight for some time. I don't want to have much time and didn't want to give the wrong signal. For the past 2 days, I have been operating my refinement engine from waking up to sleep. First, it was uncomfortable and painful. My head was in constant pain, but still I endure and continued. In the past 2 days, I never stopped operating my refinement engine except for sleeping. When I first constructed it, I could only able to operate it for near 2 hours, but the battle in the tunnel my psyche had a big change as I keep operating refinement engine while fighting the monsters. In the training facility, I also keep operating refinement engine while fighting. My head hurts, but it is nothing compared to the pain I felt when I circulate the exercise. 2 days ago, an idea comes to my mind that what if I operate refinement engine whole while training and doing other activities? First, it seems crazy idea, but then I thought it through. With my low-level talent, if I were to refine my mana only 2 or 3 hours a day, or while fighting when refinement process became unexpectedly fast, it would take me years to reach my desired purity, which is above 80%. There are also many potions which could help purify mana after mana reached 65%. No position could directly help to purify mana, but that doesn't mean there aren't potions which couldn't help indirectly. There are my potions which indirectly help in purify mana. One of such potion is Heart Racing Potion. This potion indirectly helped to accelerate refinement engine process. There are hundreds of such potions, but they all are expensive that I can't afford. My only option is this way. The first day, I felt an immense headache. I endured it and carried on operating my refinement engine. The second was also not much better, but I carried on, and today is the 3rd day, and I am currently feeling headache, but I am enduring it. My mana's purity had risen by few points in 2 days. If I keep refining it, may able to reach my desirable purity in mana. I know it will be difficult in the future because it takes more time and efforts to further purify mana after it reached certainly purity. I did not come across any specialist grade monster as I was roaming in the outskirt area of the Auden Lake, but I did find 2 LV.3 specialist grade monsters, which I finished in half in an hour, including taking out their precious parts. As I was walking, I saw 3 specialist grade evolvers walking toward me with their bloating backpack. Each of those backpacks weighed more than doubles at their weight. Looks like they had a big haul. We just gave each other a smile and didn't talk much. Seeing their haul, I make my mind and walk toward the lake. There are thousands of monsters near the lake, but it is also dangerous. Austin Lake considered one of the safest areas in my Astapart because it has few high-level monsters inside the lake, and they rarely come out. I make my mind and decide to enter core of the lake periphery. As I was walking inside, I stopped when I heard something. It seemed a cry of some angry monster. I silently hide in the bushes and slowly walk toward the sound. If monsters, I might be able to fish in troubled water. I told Ashlyn to come inside me and silently crawl without making any sound in the bushes, the angry growls getting louder and louder, and I even felt little vibration under my feet. That monster may be a little heavy to create such vibration. My mouth started to salivate just thinking of monster size. I try to guess what type of monster it would be, but the sound is too indistinct to know which monsters are. As I got closes, the sound became clear, and I'm 90% sure of my guess, but I'm not happy making that guess because killing that monster would be too difficult, but I didn't stop going toward it. I am hoping that the monster injured as I might able to kill it as I got closer. I got into the boundary of open area, and I had been correct. There are 2 young iron rhinos in front of me. Fuck. I cursed inside my mind, seeing scene front on me. There are a group of 6 devil monkeys teasing the 2 iron rhinos, and those 2 rhinos very angry about it. They were so angry they fallen 20 to 30 trees in their rage. The devil monkeys looked like the monkey monster that Kevin had, but the only difference is that Kevin's monkey had a 3rd eye on its temple. The monkeys are in private stage and couldn't make a scratch on specialist grade iron rhinos, but they still attack iron rhinos with their nails just to piss them off and have fun teasing them. I was about to leave seeing devil monkeys there, but just as I was about to leave, the monkeys started to leave after hitting rhinos on their temple one after another. I guess they had their fun. I am not surprised seeing them leave. The devil monkeys irritate anyone as long as it interests them, but they also quickly lose their interests after having enough fun. Within minutes, all monkeys left, and angry rhinos sat on the grass, tiredly. I guess their monkey must have been irritating them for quite a while. I am in a deep dilemma to attack these 2 rhinos or not. I'm not sure I can penetrate the skin of the rhinos as they are monsters which are known for their tight defense. But if I leave, I will be saying goodbye to 40,000 credits. Choo-choo, Ashlyn called out telepathically. She said attack it. She could tell that more monster we kill, the more delicious food she will get to eat. All right, I said and stand up from the bushes. She also comes out of me. You distract one while I handle the other one. I said to Ashlyn. I grip my sword and come out of bushes. It's only been minutes since Devil Monkey left, and iron rhinos are still angry. These young iron rhinos at LV.1 specialist grade monster. They are 2 meters wide and look like made of rusty iron. Their offense is a sharp horn on their head and has an extremely tough hide that is very difficult to pierce. That is why only LV1 specialist stage or higher level evolver hunt it. The biggest reason I even try to go hunt them is that of their biggest weakness. Their speed is their biggest weakness. That is why the devil monkey able to harass them so easily. Less speed doesn't mean they're defenseless. Their strength is immense. If I got straight blow from them, I'll be crushed in a single move. Let's attack, I said to the Ashley, and we moved toward our respective monsters. Bellow. A cry come out of rhinoceros' mouth as we moved to attack them. Swish, slice. I stuck towards its back, but nothing happens except for blood red line, inside which blood is trickled. It's not even called the light injury to Iron Rhino, it was just scratch. Bellow, thud, swish. It tried to ram its horn in me, but I speed to move away. Being missed, it bellowed angrily and again tried to ram its horn in me. Doing its attack, I again struck it with my sword. Boom! It missed me and struck the 3, the whole tree broke in 2 by the rhino. I am here, you idiot. I shout out loudly to anger it. Bellow. It again bellowed and run toward me with its heavy steps. I have to say this iron rhino looked and is very dangerous. Just using single horn attack, it broke the tree trunk that is double-sized me. If I were in that place, I would have directly gone to heaven. Slice, slice, slice. I attack it again, this time it's behind. What I wanted to do is make it tired by it headlessly attacking trees. It bellowed again and attacked me with its horn. That horn on its head is extremely sharp, and it is also core material in making grade 1 magical weapons. It is said that direct attack from LV, 3 corporal stage, evolver can't cut it. That attack can only dent its horn. Some of the monsters have something important on them except for their monster cores. That cougar monster I encountered earlier had skin in high demand, just like that iron rhinos also had in it. Its horn and its hidden cell really expensive. It hides also use in making grade 1 magical artifact, armor and shoes. Ashen also doing quite a good job distracting the other rhino. She was attacked with her fire now, and sometimes she just sits on its head and breath fire on it. The rhino has no other option that rams its head onto trees to get Ashlyn out of its head. Clank, bang, poo. All of a sudden, this rhino speedily moves its head to attack me with its horn, leaving me no option to dodge. I have to counter it with my sword, just as it horn in my touch. Next moment, I'm thrown backward by full force. I directly banged the tree and waited for the bird. Boom! I dodge as it came attacking me, seeing injured by the tree, but I dodge early. I am really injured first be the shock I receive when I countered its horn, and again when by back blasted against the tree. My injury is neither light or heavy, but it will take more than an hour to heal. I'm done playing around, I said with bloodied teeth, and lighted my sword with silver fire. With it, my attacks become more lethal. Slice! Bellow! Iron Rhino bellowed angry as I attack his neck with the flaming sword. This time, sword dug deeper and draws out more blood. I would have its eyes as they were the weakest spots of any monster, but eyelashes of Iron Rhino are hard as iron, and any attack of mine will just leave scratches on it. Its neck is also extra this to cut, but now that I have lightened my sword with fire, I try to attack only its neck, but all I could draw is a thin line of blood, no matter how I try. Still, I'm trying to concentrate attacks the one spot. I want to bleed it die. Slice, 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 whoosh. I attacked, but as soon as its neck moved little, I dodge it. It had grown little smart. It always attacked me in unexpected time, but I'm not an idiot either. After getting beat up by its surprise attack, I move away from it with the slightest movement of its neck. Choo-choo. Ashlyn dancing in front other rhino, teasing it and intentionally breathing fire on its face. That rhino got so angry that it tried to attack her with every one of its strength. Slice. Bellow. It below as I attack it again on its neck. That wound got nearly 2 meters deep, but it's still not hitting its blood artery. If this going on, I'm maybe not able to finish it before the dark. Just as that thought surfaced in my mind, I hurriedly looked at my watch. Damn! I cursed loudly. Only 50 minutes till the time I have left the forest, and about 1.5 an hour till dusk. I don't want in the forest in time of dusk. That is period when monsters start to become active. I don't want to leave these 2 rhinos. These rhinos will help me solve a lot of my problems, but I don't have much time. At current speed, it will take me 2 hours to kill them, and I don't have that much time. Now, there's only one option left: supreme combat exercise. I thought I would relax for a month before again starting that devil exercise, but this condition left me a choice. I have to endure that pain for 40,000 credit. Gritting my teeth, I started to circulate the first move. After completing one set, a seal had been formed in my temple, and now the first move that I circulate would be that of the second set. I circulated the first move. The only thought kept me going is the money that I will get to selling these 2 iron rhinos. Slice. I again slice at its neck. The wound deepened, but not much. Enduring the pain, I circulated the second move. Dodging its horn, I attack again. It deepens more at this speed. It would take me 1/2 an hour to kill it. Burning in this immense pain, I circulated the third. I nearly blacked out and killed by its horn in my daze, if not for the Ashlyn calling me out telepathically. H. Screaming loudly, I started to attack its neck with all the strength in my body. Spurt. Finally, it started bleeding heavily. I again attacked much time. Did a blood lost, it started to slow down. Whoosh. Tear. Fuck. I attacked me so speedily at last minute that I barely had a chance to dodge. I dodged, but Suit got hurt and got lightly injured on the stomach. After getting injured, I attack it again crazily. Thud. That rhino fell down heavily. I did not give second look to fell rhino and moved to second rhino. The other rhino will be dead by bleeding. I finished with the second rhino. Seeing its partner dying, the second rhino tried to run, but its speed is very slow, and I am now circulating their move of the exercise. It was no match by being and killed by me in 10 minutes. Ashlyn, keep an eye, I said to Ashlyn as began to dissecting and preserving them. I didn't stop the circulation of exercise as I will need to endure the way of materials of 2 rhinos. My backpack weighed near 1,000 kilograms when I finished putting everything in my backpack. My backpack had become tall as me. I drank mana potion as I have less than 10% of mana left. I lift my heavy backpack while circulating the third movement of the exercise. It's already 10 minutes more than the time limit I had set up for leaving the forest. I ran with all my might. Some low-level monsters had come to me attacking, but I cut them while running. I didn't even pick the badger meat that I had berries, thinking if returned within a week I'll retrieve it. Just as my watch catch the signals again, I ordered hovercar and still kept running. It can track my location, so it will have no problems finding me. I kept running as I was still in the vicinity. After half an hour of running, I saw a hovercar floating above me and stopped. Keen as I landed at door already opened. I put down my backpack and entered the hovercar. The hovercar had a robotic arm, which will carry my backpack. After the hovercar's door closed, did I stop circulating the third move of the exercise and close my eyes in peace. Edited by Lumosh LMZ. BZ. I woke up to the loud ringing bell and vibrating seats. I knew that I had fallen asleep in the hovercar due to tiredness. Quickly, I got out of the hovercar, still feeling a little groggy. It flew away after it had dropped my backpack with its robotic arm. Thousands of other hovercars could be seen around me, picking up and dropping off the adventurers, but mostly dropping them. Some hovercars had special logos from different organizations. They probably came back from training their members in different areas where normal adventurers would rarely pass by. I picked up my backpack and walked towards the building which had Wells' logo on it. They are one of the top company in the monster food distribution business. Even the packed monster food that Ashlyn eats is from them. "Sir, how may I help you?" said the pretty lady from behind counter. Probably having an idea what I want to do and seeing my backpack, she continued. "Please, place them all on the counter, all the while maintaining a polite smile." I started removing all the monster materials from my backpack and placing it onto the counter. In about a minute, when I did, a shining ray flashed starting from the left, then going to the right of the counter, scanning all of the materials. After a few seconds, and glancing at something behind the counter, the lady said, "The store can offer you 34,000 credits. I accept," I replied, and almost immediately a notification rang out of my holowatch. "Pleasure doing business with you, sir," she said politely after nodding. I left the building with a happy smile. This was the first credit I earned from the selling monster materials. No wonder. Most of the adventures I've seen have luxurious clothing. Just hunting 4 or 5 monsters, they can get a normal grade 1 magical artifact. Almost all of the specialist grade adventurers I've seen today have at least 2 grade 1 magical artifact, but it isn't all sunshine and roses for them. As of 10 new adventurers that come to West Blood City, only 6 survive. In the first place, you never know when a strong monster is going to appear in front of you. The lives of the adventurers are unpredictable. One day you are alive, and the next you may be dead while out hunting. That is why most common adventurers retire after they have amassed enough fortune to live their life happily without any worries. Choo choo choo. While I was still in deep thought, Ashlyn comes out of me and starts to demand food. I smile seeing this. I was just waiting to see how long she could hold on, seeing there are hundreds of food trucks hovering all around us. Choo choo. She continues to demand more, seeing that I gave in to her request. "Okay, I'll order a large portion for you," I said while I laughed at her. She says that eating a normal portion won't do anymore and that she wanted a bigger portion. I took a seat at one of the empty tables which are placed in front of food trucks. Almost all of them are full, as it is time for the adventurers to come back from the forest and enjoy the food with their friends and partners. Many droids could be seen hurling the dishes and empty plate in and out of the food truck. It didn't take long until our order to arrive, with droid flying to us with it. As usual, Ashlyn didn't wait for anything and started to dig in. She ate the food with relish, and her face didn't come out of the plate for even a second. She really did love food. I also started to eat too. It is delicious, just like the food from the apartment canteen. Enjoying the taste, an idea pops out of my head, and I open the web to check if it is possible. "It's possible," I said in excitement. I was checking if it was possible to deliver food to my town. They say that they can deliver the monster food to my parents, but there is an 8-hour distance from my town and their closest branch in a Class 6 city. I made arrangements so that my parents would get the delivery of monster food 3 days a week, every week, as it is important for them. In the past few days, I read that the human body has to bear a huge pressure in exchange for the monster pet's powers. So this food will help them immensely in bearing the load of the power. And more important, my mother is pregnant, so she will need much more nutrition than normal. Thinking about my family, I still felt a little uncomfortable and had complex feelings about my mother's pregnancy. I know I should not feel as such because it is a natural thing, but still I cannot do anything about it. The food delivery will cost me 12,000 credits per month and put pressure on my finances, but if my haul every time will be good as today, then I wouldn't have to worry about the credits. Knowing that most of the adventurers go outside twice a week, I also decided to the same. Every 3 days I'll get out to hunt. 3 days would be long enough for me to heal any injuries and train. As I still had to finish eating half of my meal, Ashlyn had already nearly finished eating hers, which was double that of mine. One thing for sure, her eating speed hadn't slowed down by a bit. Chew! Ashlyn cried out in content as she finished eating and laid on her stomach lazily. I would say it's become her habit to lay on her stomach after overeating to digest the food. I also finished my meal soon enough. I stood up ready to leave the table when I noticed that Ashlyn was not moving. This glutton. Ashlyn, let's go, I said, but she didn't move and only called out in lazy tone, choo-choo. You, I said, exasperated. She is forcing me to carry her as she is too tired and full from eating. Helpless, I picked her up into my hands as she is laid there lazily. Then I called a hover car to take me to my apartment. I didn't even have to wait for a minute when a hover car arrived. I got into it with Ashlyn still refusing to move. Choo-choo. Ashlyn called out again, telling me to lift her to the window as she wants to see the outside scenery. She is a very curious monster who likes to see and experience the world. With reluctance, I lifted her enough to let her see the flashing scenery. Soon enough, we reached our apartment building, but before entering the lift, I walked towards the exchange point. As I still hadn't cashed in the 3 specialist grade monster cores that I got from the 3 specialist stage monsters that I had killed. Putting my 3 monster cores into the slider, I waited for them to be scanned. Soon the machine quoted the price for the monster crystal, and I accepted it. The 3 LV. 1 specialist grade monster core sold for 17,000 credit. I got a little bit more money because Iron Rhino's cores were of higher quality. I have a total of 49,000 credits in my account, and in a single week, I had spent nearly 50,000 credits. I still have to buy many things, and one of the most important ones is some higher quality training suits, as the one I am wearing is wasted already. Traying. I woke up to the sound of my holowatch ringing. Someone is calling me. I woke up groggily and received the call without even checking the caller's ID. Michael, were you sleeping? Asked a high-pitched voice. I hadn't heard that voice in a week. Yes, I just woke because of your call, I said in a groggy voice. Yesterday's hunting trip really tired me out. The one who was calling me is my good friend Ellen. She had been selected by Crystal Knights and sent Carol City for training. So, how's Carol City? She asked, now that I could clearly see her projection on my holowatch. She was wearing a form-fit training suit and had cut her hair into a stylish bob. Whenever I see a bob, I remember one of the most embarrassing memories in my brain. I think it was 6 months ago. I had to do some homework that I hadn't finished the previous day for some reason. So during the break, I went to one of the abandoned rooms in the school to do my homework in peace. But when I opened the door, I found myself seeing 2 naked girls kissing each other in a passionate frenzy. And you guessed it, one of the 2 girls was Ellen, and other was some cute girl with a short bob. I closed the door slowly, took a step, sighed, and ran away fast as I can. So for a few days, things got awkward between us, and we soon forget about it. The worst thing is that I saw Ellen take another girl to the abandoned room. And here I was, I who hadn't been able to get past first base with my ex-girlfriend. What are you thinking about? She asked, seeing me zoned out. Your haircut, I replied without thinking. What about my haircut? Doesn't it look good? Ellen asked, thankfully not understanding my reference. It really suits you, I said with a pleasing smile and continued. How is Mayfield City treating you? Seeing that she is wearing her training suit, she must be going to train. It is really fun, but also a little tense, she said in an excited tone. She seemed to have a good time in the Mayfield. 3 days ago, Stella leveled up to LV, 2 private stage. And yesterday, I was to fight against a specialist stage monster in the facility. I got beaten so badly that I was barely able to walk. She said, if one carefully looked at her face, you could see a little faint red mark on her face. Enough about me. How is Carol City? She asked me. I lied to my friends and family about coming to Westblood to train. I told them that I was going to Carroll City, which is famous amongst low-level adventurers and is way less dangerous compared to the Westblood City. It's not as interesting as yours, I said to dodge the question. She didn't press the issue. Choo-choo. Ashlyn chirped as she flew onto my shoulder, calling out my lie. It's not like I don't want to tell her the truth. It's just that I've also leveled up it, and I don't want to be discouraged and all. Ashlyn, look at you. You've become even more chubby, Ellen said, looking at Ashlyn. Of course. She had become chubby. She ate like a glutton, too. She chirped happily, taking it as a compliment. Suddenly, I remembered about the combat styles and decided to ask her, Ellen, are you studying advanced combat styles? I want to know if she had been learning advanced combat style. I also decided to earn enough money from monster hunting to study a good combat style. Yes, they have been teaching it to us from the first day of training, she said. I nodded, thinking so it's true. I have heard from the most adventurers here that one of the first things an organization teaches to their members are their advanced combat styles. Their training lasts a year, and after that, they get sent to different branches across the Republic and sometimes outside of it too. Which grade did they put you in? I asked cautiously. I have many questions regarding organizations that I can't ask anyone, not even as we weren't that good of friends, and now I can finally ask Ellen without hesitation. But here in my question, her face fell, then became bright and resolute. All the youths who were selected from small towns are automatically placed in the D group, but you can give a 3-day exam to upgrade and see, she said. I know that the organization's trainees are divided into 4 categories, which A, B, C, and D, with being the highest and D being the lowest. The higher level class there are in training, the more advanced training methods and resources they will receive. Madeline from a few days ago also got accepted in Crystal Knights, but she directly selected at Class B. I obviously will not tell Ellen that, though. I've given the advancement exam and passed. I am now a level C trainee, but my aim is to enter a Class A, she said while determination flooded her eyes. I know that she will try her best and work very hard to enter Class and she may just succeed, who knows. Ellen, let's go. I heard another voice from the background of her call. Hearing some of her college calling her, I have to go, Michael. We will talk later. Ellen said, I'll call you later. I sighed after seeing her progress. I leveled up because I had to experience a life and death situation, but she caught up to me with just a little training. This is the main difference between the strain of the monsters. Ellen's monster's talent may be low, but its strain is high. And her glass spider's ancestor is a higher strain monster, and by coincidence her monster is able to inherit the strain of the ancestor, making her progress even faster. Compared to her, my progress will be slow as a snail. I might be able to keep up with her till specialist stage, but after that, I don't know what I will do. Ashlyn has Class 2 strain from which she could level up to the specialist stage, but after that, to promote further, she has to tap the most of her potential in her body. If she is able to do that, she will have no problem until she reaches her bloodline limit. Thinking there is no use going over it now, I decided to freshen up and head to the training facility after eating. The training facility was same as ever, full of activity. Everyone was training with their own methods. There were various types of instrument, like pressure suits, scattered around the floor. They were all good, but none could compare to the gravity chamber. Only advanced training facilities had the gravity chamber. It was the best training machinery available in the Republic. I checked to see if there were any pressure suits available for usage, even though the pressure suits are called a cheaper version of gravity chamber. The pressure suits looked like normal training suits, but were a little heavier and applied pressure on the wearer's body according to their needs. Still, there are no suits available. I cited the results, but I was not surprised or shocked, because there were rarely any suits available. Most of them were already used by others. On another note, it is no fun fighting androids. I was about to go and find challengers to fight, but all the rings are occupied. Seeing this, I had no choice but to wait for a ring to empty. I watched some battles happening in the rings as I wait for a ring to empty. Soon enough, a battle was over and both of the parties got out of the ring. Before anyone else could enter, I hastily ran into the ring and started waiting for challengers to come. I didn't take a second for a challenger to come, but I got a little startled by seeing their level. It's a specialist grade evolver. I had never fought against a specialist grade ever before. I only fought against people who were at the peak of private grade. You don't mind me challenging you, right? Do you? He asked with a polite smile. He looked quite old, around his mid-20s. I have seen very few people around that age here, especially those who were at specialist grade. He had a stocky body with a round face. A small beard grew upon it, and together with his long blonde hair, he had a charming look. Of course not. To fight against a specialist grade is my fortune, I said with a smile. I am Micheal. I continued by introducing myself. Reynard, he replied, and immediately the countdown started. We both held our weapons tight. He was using a falchion, and I was using my katana. Ding! As soon as the bell rang, we both started to attack each other. Clank! Both of our weapons collided, resulting in Reynard being pushed back by 2 steps. Shock was clearly visible on face as he, LV, 1 specialist grade, was forced 2 steps back from the attack of a measly LV, 2 private stage evolver. Quickly regaining his control over his emotions, he started to attack me again. Clank, clank. Both of our swords went through multiple battles, but neither of us is able to gain an upper hand. I have not seen you before. Are you new here? He asked while attacking, looking clearly relaxed, as though the fight had put 0 strain on him. Yes, it's only been weeks since I've come to this building, I replied as we fought. That's good, he said, ending the conversation. If others were to see our fight, they would believe that we are equally matched, and neither has an advantage on the other. But I knew the truth, it was different. I could tell that Reynard had total control over his body and was using minimum amounts of energy to counter my moves. Not just that, his moves, which seemed to be simple on the surface, had mysterious rhythm to it. It may be some kind of advances combat style. Clank, clank, clank. Seeing that the fight was not going anywhere, I gritted my teeth, and I decided to circulate the first move of the second set of the Devil's Exercise. The pain hit me hard, but I endured it. Just as my power increased, so did Reynard's. He closely matched his power with mine, and yet again we come to a standstill. I smile wryly at this, but this was also a chance for me to refine my moves. With the expert fighting me, I can see my mistakes and the path to improvement more easily. Reynard seemed to be in no hurry to finish the fight, and I have no problem with that. In fact, it was better for me as the longer the fight lasted, the higher the chance to improve. When humans and monsters of the same level fought, the humans will win 70% of all fights. The monsters are inherently stronger, and it had double the mana reserve in normal humans, but it still struggled to beat lower-leveled humans. The reason was intelligence. The monsters have a very low intelligence. Only monsters bonded with humans had a chance of gaining higher intelligence. If it had been any specialist monster instead of Reynard, it would be either dead or gravely injured. But with a human opponent like Reynard, I couldn't seem to get even the slightest upper hand. The feeling I got from him, I think he could finish me in maximum 3 moves if he wants to, and that was considering if I was lucky. As the fight progressed, Reynard started to increase the power behind his moves. Left with no other choice, I had to circulate the second movement of the exercise to keep up with him. Most of the people who were watching our fights soon lost interest as they did not find anything fun or interesting in it. But for me, it is one of the best fights I've ever had yet. I was able to find many of my mistakes and started to fix them. Reynard, understandingly, did not rush the fight, but increased the pressure on me, but it was at speed that neither too slow nor was it too fast. Slick! I failed to counter Reynard's sword, and it grazed my shoulder. I would have gotten more injured if Reynard hadn't controlled the force behind the move. Soon, due to the great pressure increase, I had to circulate the third movement of the second set of the Demon's Exercise. The pain I felt was immense, but I had to endure it. I know that it will be difficult for me to come across such opportunity again. I fought with Reynard for more than 2 hours, and pressure of his sword kept constantly increasing. For short while I was able to keep up, but soon the pressure increased even more. As expected, I got hit by Reynard more than 10 times. Many times I tried to circulate fourth move, but I was unable to. With there being no use fighting anymore, I admitted my loss. Thank you, I said as I left the ring, but he just smiled and stayed there. I didn't leave after I finished my spar with Reynard because I wanted to watch Reynard's battles with other opponents. The second I left the ring, another person entered the ring to challenge the Reynard. It was none other than Nigel, the one who got beaten up by Madeline. He still looked gloomy, but not as much as the other day when he lost to Madeline. Nigel is at the peak of the specialist grade, whereas Reynard is still at LV1 of specialist stage. But that did not mean Nigel would win. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that Reynard is way stronger than he appears on the surface. And hopefully, with this matchup, I would learn of his true level of strength and skill. I was looking forward to this spar. I really wanted to know who would win this battle. They started to fight almost immediately, and Reynard still had a relaxed attitude, same as when he was fighting with me. They both kept exchanging moves, but Nigel was never able to gain the upper hand with Reynard. From what I see, I can tell that Reynard is way more powerful than I initially thought, because he was handling Nigel with ease. Nevertheless, Nigel's performance is also quite good. Also, he was beaten quite badly by Madeline that day. I thought he was going to wallow in self-pity with how Madeline crushed him, especially considering that it was in front of hundreds of people paired with his abnormal obsession with Madeline. Though to my surprise, his performance had improved, but his face still looked gloomy. The fight was in full swing. Nigel is giving his everything except for his half skills. Watching him, I have to say he is quite talented with how he is using different types of moves on Reynard. Some of his combat moves looked quite complex, and it should have taken him a lot of hard work to perform them. While watching the spar, I kept an eye out for pressure suits. Hun! A sound escaped my mouth because I saw there were 3 pressure suits available. I was quite startled seeing this and was rooted on my spot for a while like a dumb idiot. But soon releasing this fact, I hastily walked towards the elevator without caring about the ongoing battle in the ring. I could watch it later on as all the fights were recorded. All the clips were available for free in the building's feed. I was practically skipping towards the elevator since the training facility which housed the pressure suits were in training facility number 5. I prayed that by the time I reached there, at least one would be left for me. There are about 100 pressure suits in the building, but the demand was in the thousands. They're the only training instruments in the building which never free for more than 5 minutes, and also in the highest demand. Fidgeting while I waited in the elevator, I hoped that others wouldn't have arrived before me. I was so tense that I felt that every single second spent in the elevator was equivalent to an hour. Ting! As soon the elevator arrived reached the training facility number 5 and the doors opened, I ran at full speed out of the elevator and towards the room with the highly demanded pressure suits. Thank God, I sighed of relief as I looked at the pressure suit inside the glass case. After I finished flashing my holowatch on the case, I opened the zip and I took out the pressure suit. This particular suit has a red and black color combination, is a little thicker than a normal training suit, and has a helmet. Otherwise it looks exactly like my training suit. I take the pressure suit to the private changing room and wore it. The suit is completely skin tight, but not one part of my body visible through it. It is designed to be in that way so that it can apply some pressure on every part of my body, almost like increasing gravity. It was invented before the gravity chamber. So after gravity chamber became available, some modifications were made into it so that the one wearing it could experience something similar to increased gravity instead of higher pressure only. I got out of the room to see many people wearing the pressure suits and performing various exercises. Some were performing squats while the others were running in the tracks, and one weird girl is even dancing with the pressure suit on. I found an empty corner and increased the pressure setting to 100 kilograms. Slowly the pressure I felt increased as if I was wearing a suit of lead. I feel that I am freely able to move my body under 100 kilograms. So I started doing a simple exercise. Even though it is the basics, it is proven scientifically that doing any exercise using gravity chambers or pressure suits yields better results in body coordination and strength training. Feeling that I can manage 100 kilograms, I increased the pressure to the 200 kg. It was still bearable, and I am able to perform simple exercises that I learned in school. Not just me, but many people are also doing the basic high school level exercises. I can't spar using these suits, even if these are the cheapest ones. as it is too expensive for me to afford a replacement or even repair in case of damage. So the only option left is to do basic exercises, considering I do not know any advanced ones. So I kept increasing the weight of the suit by 100 kilograms until 500 kg. This time, I truly felt the pressure. After slowly doing the exercise in the corner, I decided to run the track. There are many people running the tracks. Some are slow while some are fast. But one thing common about them is that all of them are working hard. I even saw one of the youths fall down from exhaustion. After a while, I increased the pressure to 600 kilograms. As the weight of suit increased, my speed decreased to the point I started walking instead of running. So to counter this, I started to circulate the first move of the exercise. In return, I felt immense amounts of pain, but also felt some more strength starting to flow inside my veins and bones. The main reason I am so excited about pressure is that it greatly helps ensure that I circulate the moves of the exercise, and it helps at greater efficiency. It is proved that the best time to do the exercise is while you exert your physical strength. As per my experience, the better you are at enduring the pain, the more progress you will make in circulating exercises. Even though it was obvious, I did not expect it to directly correlate to this extent. Soon, I upped the weight to 800 directly to push myself to the second step. I felt that it would have crushed me to death if I had not already begun circulating the second movement of the exercise, but I still felt huge pressure. Left with no other choice, I had to circulate the third movement of the exercise. Time passed on. It was late evening, and I was still running across the track. The only thing different from this morning when I entered is that the weight of the suit is at 900 kg, 800 more than before. I still did not leave as I had promised something to myself. I promised that as long as I did not complete running one lap around the track with a weight of 1,000 kgs, I would not leave. A few more hours passed. Ashlyn called to me. She says that she's feeling hungry, but I ignore her and kept running. Before long, more than 8 hours have passed since I wore this suit. Currently, I am running with a weight of 990 kilograms. Every step is excruciating. It requires me to call upon every muscle in my body. So I grit my teeth and try to circulate the fourth movement of the exercise. I screamed in pain, and a muffled voice rang through my helmet. But I am somehow able to circulate the fourth movement of the exercise. With the help of the newfound power, I increased the pressure to 1,000 kilograms and completed a lap of the whole track. Yes, I screamed through the mask. My goal of the day is completed. I wanted to circulate the fourth movement second step of the exercise because I knew without it I would not have a chance to break the strain boundary, even if I did it with next to zero. Back when I was in my hometown, I had believed that with enough hard work I would be able to break the strain boundary. But it took only a week since I came to West Blood City that I have come to understand the truth. I have come to understand how naive I was. To break boundary hard work is not enough. You need more than that. You needed luck. So all I can do for now is to try and complete 10 sets of the exercise, which will bring a qualitative change in my body while also increasing mine and Ashlyn's talent by a little. Above all, I can that this little increase in strength after the 10th set will help in breaking Ashlyn's strain limit. All I can do for now is hope that I am right. Days pass by. It is time to go hunting again. I have decided to hunt every 3 days. I need a lot of money. I needed to learn advanced combat styles and to buy magical artifacts, potions, and other things. I have finished preparation for everything I need in this trip. I bought a new training suit, and this one is of better quality. After double-checking everything is ready, I walk towards the door. Ashlyn, let's go. I shout, and in 1 second, she is on my shoulder. It is early morning. The sun has risen fully. I have decided to leave earlier today because I wanted to have the full day at my disposal, unlike last time when I had to run away with all my might. The hover car was already waiting for me. I got in, and it soon dropped me to the Myasta market. The market had not changed, still active and crowded even this early morning. I didn't linger in the market after getting out of the hover car. I immediately called for the armored one to take me to the boundary of Austin Lake. But this time, I chose a different area of the Austin Lake. My plan was to get familiar with this area so I could spend the night there. Not for now, though. It is for when I reach the specialist stage. It is at night when monsters are the most active, and it is also the time adventurers gain a big haul. But it is equally as dangerous because one can find themselves attacked by a large group of monster. I looked on as the hover car flew away after dropping me off. Projecting a map of the area, I decide which route to take as there are multiple areas marked as a high monster density area. Last time, I didn't need to as the area I chose had a thin monster density. Except for this time, the area I chose had a higher density than last time, but is still less than high-density monster areas. After choosing the route, I begin walking hoping to find a specialist-grade monster, yet the reality is cruel. I did not find a single specialist-grade beast even after an hour that I spent walking in the forest. I continued to roam in the forest while feeling downhearted, when suddenly my gaze fell upon a yellow vine. The vine was coiled around a tree. I was about to walk away, thinking it was just another normal yellow vine. But something inside me urges me to observe it more carefully. This vine was unusually dense and was circling tree stumps and branches. "Oh heavens," I said, looking at the mature yellow vine snake. Yellow vine snakes are like gray spark sparrow. They're also a class 2 stray monster, and their limit of evolution is specialist grade. But this is where the similarities end. Yellow vine snake is plant-type monster, meaning it is a treasure. Every part of a plant-type monster is used in potion making, especially the heart and core. Its heart, sap, and core are the main ingredients in making a healing potion. A plant's core is also used to make a magical artifact for people who had healing powers, ensuring that all plant-type monsters are treasures, but there was one problem in killing them. Their immense vitality, it made killing it very difficult. That was also the reason why every part of it is a treasure. If you cannot kill it in one move, then forget about killing it. Considering that every plant-type monster has a super healing ability, if it did not die in a single move, then killing it would be very, very difficult since it can even heal fatal injuries in seconds. To hunt a plant-type monster was a very tiring job. I just took a brief look at it and walked away. To attempt to hunt it, it will take me too much mana and stamina. Moreover, I wasn't even sure I would be able to kill it. I decided to return here in the afternoon and try to kill it if it stays here. I spent some since I walked past that yellow vine snake, and in this time, I was only able to kill 2 level 2 private stage monsters. Besides, they were the worst type, whose heart is the only useful material while other parts are a useless waste. Just as I was beginning to lament on my bad luck when I heard a faint grinding. I couldn't properly distinguish what made it was, but I was sure it had something to do with rocks. I sneak towards the sound, and I see the creature that made the sound. It turned out to be a big searing hog. It was busy sharpening its small tusks with the rocks. It is known as searing hog because when the creature attacks, its tusks would turn red hot and could easily melt iron with a single touch. It had a thick skin which made it a little difficult to kill, but if I am able to kill it. Furthermore, I will easily get 15 to 20,000 credits as its skin, tusk, and meat were all useful. Seeing me come towards it, it became vigilant. Its tusks started to turn red in preparation to attack. It runs towards me. Turns out despite its humongous body, it is relatively fast, and it reaches me with just a second. Slice! I dodged its attack while struck its face to test its defense. Looking at a thin line of blood left behind on my sword and face, I decided that I should be able to finish it off within 30 minutes if I circulate the third movement of the exercise. Grunt! It cried out loudly as I attacked without waiting. I immediately started to circulate the third movement of the exercise. SSS. I sucked in cold breath and endured the pain. Whoosh clank. It countered my strike with its tusks as I was aiming for the neck, but I had no major worries as it would be dead soon. I keep attacking it without stop. It is able to sometimes counter, but most of the time it could only take the strike with its body. Its whole body is soon riddled with the injuries, and its eyes turn red in the anger, but it is helpless against my strikes. It tried to escape, but I was faster. Soon it started to slow down due to excessive blood loss. Clank! It somehow countered my attack, but it zoned out due to shock. Seeing my chance, I moved my sword to stab its eye. I tried it previously, but I failed as it dodged on time, but this time I had full confidence. Poochie! Thud! as my sword stabbed through its eyes, and within a second it fell on the ground with a loud thud. Without wasting my time, I started to skin and pack it, as it is worth 20,000 credits. I lifted my backpack and wore it. It became heavy, but I still able to walk with it. First, I planned on burying heavy monster parts and picking them after hunting, but obviously that method didn't work as I did it last time, as it got very late hinting iron rhinos, and I decided to forego it, seeing it was very late. The Austin Lake had many monsters, but most of them at private stage. I had killed tens of LV.1 and LV.2 monsters that come my way. I decided to enter the core area of Austin Lake, as there are more monsters that I could hunt. I silently started to make my way to the core area of Austin Lake. I had first decided to get familiar with monster hunting before venturing into the core area, but now it seems like I have to go inside to them. According to the map and information I brought, it says that the 2 km around Austin Lake are densely packed with a monster, and all of them are in the peak of the private grade or specialist grade. Especially half km around Austin Lake is filled with the specialist grade monsters. I heard sounds of moose from the distance. It looks like a herd of aqua bulls ahead. I hide my backpack in a good spot and slowly crept into bushes and silently moved toward the sounds. I had guessed right. There are herd aqua bulls ahead, but the quantity of them is more than I imagined. There looked to be more than 300 bulls in that herd, or maybe more, as I can clearly see them as they were far away. It is good that I am far away from them. If aqua bull to notice, all herd would follow me, attack me till the end. They were protective of their herd and would rarely found alone or in a small group. Ashlyn, go and lure the bull out. I asked Ashlyn, choo-choo. She affirmed and flew away. Ashlyn is the best choice for lure aqua bull away. Aqua bulls are water elemental monsters who hate anything fire, and Ashlyn is small enough to easily dodge their water jets. Soon Ashley reaches the aqua bulls. She found a small group of aqua bull and started to irritate them by throwing fireballs at them. Provoked aqua bull also tried to use water jets on them, but it's no use. She easily dodges them with her tiny size. Oh, the monsters mooed loudly, but it is no use. Seeing the commotion in the corner, aqua bull's leader also looked toward, but seeing its only private stage, Small Sparrow, he looked away after losing interest. Ashlyn doing quite a good job provoking them. She just has to keep doing it for some time and leave. 1 or 2 aqua bull will easily follow. What I fear is the leader of the herd. It has looked mutated and nearly double that of normal aqua bull size. I hope it didn't care 1 or 2 bull chasing the little sparrow. I silently crept out of bushes. I didn't want that mutated aqua bull to get the smell of me. I heaved a sigh of relief after getting out of that bull's vision range. That mutated bull gave me creeps whenever I looked at it. In my current level, if I come across it, I don't think I will be able to beat it despite it being LV.1 specialist grade. I will have no but run if I ever come across it. I walked toward the area where I hid my backpack. I quickly wore it and started to walk toward the place where I asked Ashley to lure the bull. The place I chose is very far from the herd of aqua bulls. Even if anyone cried out of its lungs, I don't think the herd able to hear it. In half an hour, I reached the place where I told Ashlyn to lure the bull. I hid my backpack in the indiscreet location and found a spot to hide. I wanted to land a sneak attack on it and kill it in one shot. Whoosh clank. My sword deflected the thing. I was hiding on the spot, silently waiting for the all-in to lure the bull in. As I was waiting, I felt life-threatening sensation on my back. Without waiting, I activated my grade 1 magical artifact and swing behind me. Luckily, I countered that thing, which is attacking me. When I looked to see what attacked me, it looked like a snake which made of countless pebbles. Pebble snake, I said out loud. It is pebble snake. It is 1M long snake which made of countless thumb-sized pebbles, and it is LV1 specialist grade monster. This pebble snake has low-class toe strain, but it had an earth-shaking origin. It is said that it had originated from Medusa origin. There happened many cases when pebble snake has awakened higher strain. It hisses at me, showing its fangs which seems to drip with a black substance. If it were able to bit me, I'll be gone. Its poison has a strong petrification effect, which can easily stun me for a full minute. Seeing it's going to attack me again, I started to circulate the third movement of the exercise. I don't want to take any chances. Single bite from this pebble snake, and I is surely dead. Clank! It was thrown away far by my attack. I waited to grip my sword and waited for it attacks it again, The one good thing is despite it made of rocks, its defense is not that good. If I am able to hit 2-3 times, it sure will be dead. I waited for it to attack, but 10 minutes passed, and then 15, but there is no sign of it. First thought came into my mind that it ran away, and this is also a best possible option, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I decided to check if it ran away or not. I slowly walked toward the direction where it flew away when it hit my sword. Walking toward that direction, oh, I exclaimed, seeing Pebble Snake lying on the earth, and cracks could be seen on its pebbly head. Looks like it was killed by my single sword strike. To be safe, I again hit its head again with a sword. Some monsters are really vicious. They act dead in attack when one got really close to it. It didn't move when I hit its head with my sword. This Pebble Snake is treasure, each and every part of it. Aside from its core, its fangs and petrifying poison had its uses, but the most expensive thing is it a body. The pebble that made of its use as fertilizer, very expensive fertilizer, the fertilizer used for precious plants and herbs. Within 5 minutes, I separated all parts off and put them into my backpack. If I am able to hunt the bull, this trip will be very fruitful and I will be able to earn more than the last trip, but it all depends on Ashlyn. After hiding my backpack, I hit again on my previous, but this time I'm more vigilant. I still shudder when I thought about that Pebble Snake sneak attack. If that snake had a little bit faster and able to bite, I would have been lying dead and my heart being eaten by it. About time, I whispered when I felt Ashlyn is coming closer. She will arrive in a few minutes. Ashlyn and I can sense each other. It would be nice if I could see what she is seeing, but it not possible private grade. It is only possible at advanced grade. Moo! Moo! I heard loud mooing from the aquabulls. I told Ashlyn only to lure only one bull, but from the sound seemed like she brought 2 bulls. Ashlyn coming closer and closes rose from my heart, and I waited patiently for her to arrive. As soon as she comes luring those aquabulls, I'll attack them sneakily at the perfect moment. Chew! Ashlyn comes flying and started shooting toward the direction she came from, an irritating tone. Moo! The bulls moved out. Swoosh! Suddenly a water jet comes out of the tree, trying to hit Ashlyn, but she easily dodged it with a flap of her wings. Moo! Thud! Soon, 3 equal bulls come out of the thicket and started to attack Ashlyn with their water jets. This concentrated water attack is really dangerous. If it hit, I would definitely get injured. Fuck! I cursed inside my mind. I specifically advocated Ashlyn that not to lure more than 2 bulls, and now they are 3. If it had been normal specialist grade monsters, I would handle it easily by circulating third move, but the problem with these aquabull is that, thud, a branch of a tree fell, the water jet attack misses Ashlyn and hit the tree branch that is thick as my thigh. One can imagine what will happen if it touched me. These 3 aquabulls, white in color and thin layer of water, could be seen covering its whole body. As its name suggests, it is water elemental monster, and that thin water screen on its body is its defensive and healing measure. Its defense is not as strong as earlier Searing Hog, but its healing capabilities are quite good because that extremely thin water screen spread all over its body. Whenever it receives an injury, that thin water screen will concentrate over the wound and help it heal speedily. Have 2 offensive methods. First are water jet, which it throws from its body, and another one, its horns. It has a quite good offense, and if I want to kill 3 of these aquabulls, it will be quite difficult to kill them. I would have walked away, but I have put up too much time and energy on these bull. If I leave now, I will waste quite a time before I find my next prey, and I didn't even know to find it and kill before the time of leaving. I wanted to kill them in my full power. I started circulating the moves of the exercise. I can circulate till the 3rd move. The pain of 4th one for me is too difficult to handle. Moo! Aqua bulls mooed in anger as Ashlyn kept angering them. I watch the bulls as I wait for the perfect moment while I keep circulating the 3rd movement of the exercise. I would have lightened my sword with my fire, but water elemental monsters tend to have a sensitivity toward heat. I didn't wait for long before the perfect moment came. The aqua bull is only 5-6 steps away from me, and all 3 of their gazes are forward, same as me. This perfect chance for me to attack. Controlling my breathing, I leapt out of my place to attack it. My aim is its skull. Time slowed down. I speedily moved toward it. Sensing my attack, all aquabulls looked toward me and prepared to attack. Boom! Ashlyn had summoned big fireball, and attack, when 3 bull mind diverted to me. She took out 1 bull with her fire. It will not disturb me for few seconds, and Ashlyn also can't help me for few seconds as she had just summoned a big fireball. I lightened my sword with fire as I was when I was inches away from the aqua bull. The one I am attacking is only 5 or 6 steps away from while other 2 bulls 2 or 3 meters away. They won't be able to save their kin from me, even if they wanted to. This bull, nearly helpless, out of instinct, it moves its head toward me to attack me with its horns, and that is what I was counting on, as it will make killing it even faster. I was experiencing all this at very slow speed. I know I can't make any mistake in this. If I miss, then that's bull's horns will directly pierce my chest, but that won't happen, as between us there is still a distance of sword. Sizzle! Sound rang out as my fiery sword touched the thin water screen, but it didn't obstruct my sword as it touched its skull and started piercing it inside. Corner of my eye could see Ashlyn trying to summon fireball in front of her, but it is forming very slow. The second bull hand nearly formed water globe in its mouth, and its water jet will hit me at any moment while the bull that Ashlyn attacked also forming water in its mouth, but that attack came a little late than first bull. Poochie! My whole sword entered the skull of the aqua bull, and it's lost its shine in its eyes. My problems aren't over yet. They're their life-threatening attack coming toward me. I didn't have time to enjoy my victory of killing the aqua bull. I can see, as slowly bull falling into the ground, the water jet attack from other bull is also midway in the air. I wanted to dodge that attack, but I can't as my body is moving ever so slowly. I can seem to do anything except for moving my body a little by little. Bang! Thud! Crack! Thud thud. Many things happened in the second. It feels like time sped up. The body of the ball hit the ground, and water jet from the bull hit me viciously. I barely able to dodge that attack by my heart, but it squarely hit me on my shoulder, cracking my shoulder bone and giving me searing pain, but this pain is nothing compared to the one I am feeling now, while circulating the third movement of the exercise. As the attack landed on my shoulder, I had to take a few steps back to diffuse the force. I'm not out of danger yet. The bull that just attacked me is charging toward me with full speed, and second bull also attacked me with a water jet, and Ashlyn hadn't formed her fireball yet. Swish! The second water jet attack left from its mouth, while this time I better conditioned to dodge the attack, but another bull is also coming with its horns toward me. Clank! Thud! I resist Aqua Bull's horns with my sword, but I had to take a few steps back as the force of attack hard for me to handle. Boom! Moo! I heard, and then a painful cry of bull rang out. It seems that when the second bull was preparing to attack me with another water jet, Ashley hit her fireball on its head, disrupting forming a water jet and blasting it inside its mouth. The blood is dripping from its mouth. The injury is not heavy, but I don't think I able form water jet before some time. Clan clank. I many time try to attack its skull, but is no use as it easily deflects with its horns, and one bull is not enough. The other bull is also coming toward me with its eyes completely red. I was a little surprised seeing this because I thought taking Ashlyn attack it will angry at her and would disturb me, but I was wrong. That bull directly coming toward me with viciousness and madness in its eyes. Whoosh clank. I dodge one bull charge while countering another bullhorn. These bull are clearly very angry and attacking me in frenzy. Each and every attack of it forceful that diffuse the force. I have to take many steps back. Boom! Ashlyn again attacks with a fireball to some bull, making it angrier. I have been barely able to dodge it. It is good, though. Anger will dull its instant, and when I get chance, I will give it a fatal blow. Sizzle slice. M.O. My flaming sword cut across the bull's back, making a sizzling noise and drawing out blood, but this movie hadn't come free. That charging bull's horn left a centimeter-deep wound in my back. The bull in a frenzy is very dangerous. They're stupid, but their frenzy makes up for their stupidity as their attack becomes faster and stronger. The only good thing is that with repetitive attacks, this bull hadn't had a chance of attacking me at water jet while others got injured in its mouth by Ashley. Clank! My attack got stopped by the bull's horn. I was trying to attack its neck. Whoosh! I again barely dodge another charge of the mad bull. If any of its charge was to hit me, I would be severely injured and only have to run, leaving behind this precious bounty. If this going on, I'll not able to finish these bull before the time of leaving. Gritting my teeth, I started to circulate the fourth movement of the exercise. What a pain, such immense pain. These days, whenever I circulate the moves exercise, I thought about machines that government and organization have to reduce the pain, and I wonder how much the pain they reduce. Even if they're able to reduce 20% of the pain, that would be an immense help to the practitioner who practices the exercise. My power increased even more, and I felt my pressure to decrease a little, but still it's too hard to handle two frenzied bull as they attacking so aggressively. Clank! Thud tud bam! I tried to attack frenzied bull, but just as aiming for his back, it suddenly moved his head and countered my shock. That shock hit me so hard that I'm blasted backward and collided with the tree. Boom! Thank God I moved away early or I swede to that bull. Creak! I quickly got out of my shock and swing my flaming sword with all my strength toward the bull's neck. When attacking second ago, its horns hit trees as I dog, and its two horns directly skewed into the tree trunk. It will take moments to remove, but it will be enough to kill this aqua bull. This is a very risky move, as Ashley just attacked the bull, but is charging toward me in frenzy. I will surely get injured by it, but it is worth it in exchange for killing this bull. Moo! Sizzle kacha! Bam swish thud! Crack! Many things happened in a single second. First, as my flaming sword touched the neck of the bull, making a sizzling sound. As it cut the neck of bull more than half-charging bull hit me with its head, I barely able to avoid its horns. I flew away from shock, losing the grip on the sword, which is still as the bull neck. As I was in midair, the monster attacked me with water jet, which directly hit my thigh, and last I slammed to the big tree, breaking several bones of mine. It all happened in seconds. I didn't have a chance to relax, as I was unarmed, and the bull is coming from me. Good. Ashley again hit it fireball, slowing at momentum and giving me chance to dodge a charge. Without relaxing, I run toward my sword, which is in the bull neck. Moo! The bull roared as it charged toward me. I quickly summoned fireballs in both of my hands and threw toward it. It didn't do any damage to him, but it gave me little time to get my sword. I'm feeling pain at every step as some of my bones cracked earlier, but I don't have the luxury to think about as I unsteadily run toward my sword. Slink! Clank! Pooh! Just as I remove my sword from the dead bull's neck, I have to counter bull's charge. That shook me and blood vomit out of my mouth. Ashlyn attacked it when it is very close to me. I said to her she was ready to throw a fireball. Choo-choo! She cried out, and fireball in front of her getting bigger and bigger. I am planning a daring move. Many of my bones cracked, and I'm not on a stage to run around. I have to finish it within one move. The bull is 7-8 meters away from me and started to charge toward me. Now it all depends on Ashlyn timing. The anger could be seen of the bull face as its body is also ridden with the injuries, it breathing out watery mist from its mouth and forming water jet in the mouth. Probably do the same thing that it did earlier. First, it will hit me with its head, and then with water jets, it come closer and closer, and when it was 1 meter away from did the Ashlyn threw away her fireball. Boom! Rang out, and scary heat wave released from the fireball. It was the biggest fireball that she has ever created. It is more than double her size. Moo! Angry moo rang out as the fireball sopped its momentum. Its mouth also looked bloodies. Ashlyn fireball must have disrupted water jet attack. Ah! I screamed and used every ounce of energy in my body to attack it. See attached coming toward it. The bull cried out and moved his horses toward. As its horns and my sword about to touch, I slightly changed the direction of the sword so it could pierce its skull. Seeing it about to madness come into its eyes, and it directly moves its skull towards my sword. Damn, I said, seeing what will it do, but powerless to stop it. Poochie, boom! As my sword piercing its skull, with last ounce at the energy it created water jet attack, and attack it toward my chest before dying. I flew away as water jets squarely landed on my chest with such close distance. Bang! Pooh! Pooh! I landed on the ground squarely and kept vomiting blood with my eyes open. The only good thing is that dangerous monsters will not come seeing the commotion, as this location is at the outskirts of Austin Lake. And even finding peak private grade monster is difficult. I lay on the ground without moving with my eyes open. Many of my bones were either cracked or broken. The only redeeming factor was that it was not very serious. My body is healing at a very fast rate. In half an hour, all my injuries would nearly be healed, given that I kept circulating the fourth move of Supreme Combat Exercise. I didn't stop circulating the exercise after killing all the bulls because I knew once I stopped, I wouldn't reach the fourth move again anytime soon. I somehow managed to sit up and drink the mana potion from my pocket. As during the battle, I had used most of my mana, and now I was running low. After drinking the mana potion, I stand up. I feel pain from every inch of my body as I move, but this pain was nothing compared to the one from the exercise. One thing I'm going to do is to buy a healing potion. Last time I didn't buy it because I needed money for something else. But this time I will make sure to buy it before coming outside for hunting again. The bleedings had stopped, but I still kept the bandages wrapped all over the wounds as the wounds would tear and bleed if I do anything that strains my body. Sometimes I wonder if the creator of Supreme Combat Exercise intentionally made one feel immense pain at every circulation so that one can endure any other pain in the world. Emptying useless thoughts, I start to walk towards the carcasses of the aqua bulls. These monsters sure gave me a lot of pain and broken bones, but it's all worth it. The earning from selling 3 bulls make the pain seem a lot less. I started to clean, preserve, and pack all important parts of the aqua bulls, not leaving one part behind. If it was any other region, I would have to leave behind a body or 2 behind. Hell, if it was the same location as where I killed those rhinos, I would have left the bodies considering my current condition. Luckily, this place is near the outskirts of Austin Lake. It will take me only half an hour of traveling to reach the boundary needed to call the hover car, so I can take all the bodies. Sure, the half an hour with the weights of the corpses will put a lot of pressure on my already exhausted body, but I have bear with it for the money. Aquabull's meat is one of the most demanded meats in the market. Its beef is very delicious. Ashlyn and I had a taste of it 2 days ago, and we loved it. My backpack stuffed to limit. Its size was larger than me. I don't think I could lift it. It is a good thing that it had wheels. Somehow, I have to manage with the wheels on the way back. I guess I will just have to use more force to pull the backpack. Ski. To make the wheels of backpack roll on the uneven surface, I had to use all my energy to pull the luggage. I hasten my pace watching the sun setting down. The dangerous monsters will begin to roam around at night. Moreover, there is no pattern in danger level at night. As I was walked, I remember the conversation I had with my parents 3 days ago, when my mom called me 5 minutes after she received the delivery of food. They knew immediately after receiving it that only I could send it to them as we don't have any other relatives. She admonished me for spending excessive money by sending them food. She only stopped when I told her that I got admitted into a good organization with a generous salary. She told me to come home if I got left. I promised to come after the baby is born. While we were in the middle of the conversion, she began to cry, saying how much she missed me. I also had tears in my eyes seeing her cry. This was my first time away from home, and I also missed them and our house immensely. Only after talking for another hour, Mother cut the call before forcing me to promise her to call home every week. Even after walking for more than 20 minutes, I didn't get a signal on my holowatch. Sighing, I continued to pull my wheeled backpack as the sky darkened. Boom! Good job, Ashlyn, I said, as she killed the LV2 private monster that came in our way. During normal times, I would have killed the monster with one swing of my sword, but now I purely concentrated on pulling my backpack. We came across many low-level monsters on our way, but Ashlyn finished them all with a single fireball. Reviewing today's battle, I came across a major flaw. The silver fire that both Ashlyn and I use lacks the power to harm specialist-grade monsters. It only augments my sword attacks, increasing the force a little, and Ashlyn's fire attacks just irritate them at most. The only way we could make it lethal is to use skills, half skills, or training the flame. But I don't have enough money to buy half skills from the market, so the only option left is to train our fire ability. We both have to increase the concentration of flames. Currently, all we do is just summon and mold the fire into a ball for attacking. But that's what novices do. Saying that we need to condense our flames is easy, but applying it is a whole another level. To condense a palm-sized flammel to fist-sized, or even a thumb-sized to increase its lethality require training of months to years. Additionally, just training is not enough. One has to have powerful psyche and will to achieve results. I kept pulling my backpack, and Ashlyn kept killing the monsters as we progressed our way towards the exit of the forest. Beep! A sound rang out of my holowatch as it received the signal. I immediately let go of the backpack and ordered cab. 5 minutes later, a hover car came flying across the horizon, and I boarded into it while the robotic arm picked the bag. Thud! The hover car dropped my backpack and flew away. I looked at it as it flew away in the sky. My backpack is twice as large as last time and twice as heavy. I activated its wheels again and pulled toward the big Wells building. I can't stop smiling as I'm pulling my backpack. This hunt had been so good. I have hunted 5 specialist grade monster. The minimum I will get selling them is 100,000 credits. Just when I am thinking how amazing the adventuring life is, I saw a harsh reality in front of. A hover car landed not far from me, and 3 people come out it. All 3 of them were bloodied, looked heavily injured, but one man had his arm missing. It clearly looked bandaged. It must be chewed or cut by a monster. They are hurriedly walking toward Medical Bay, which specially set for the injured adventurers for immediate care. This is the harsh reality of adventuring. One day you're live and kicking, but very next day you might be on stretchers. One has been careful outside, not only from monsters, but also from fellow humans. That man's arm is gone, but it's not like there are options. Magic and technology are both developed today. He can get prosthetic, which can work perfectly as normal arm, but he has to goodbye to adventuring. There is another option in prosthetic. He could get a grade 1 prosthetic type magical artifact, which would be better than a real armor. He can buy very, very expensive regeneration potion, which could regrow his, but it's not possible he could afford it. "How may I help you, sir?" said the clerk as soon as I reached the counter. She looked prettier than the clerk that was here last time. I didn't say anything and started unloading all the monster materials. Soon I unloaded monster parts on the counter, including the monster core. Last time I sold my monster through the exchange center in my apartment building, fearing I will not get a good price at Bazaar, but it was just my misconception. The shops in my Asta Bazaar offered the same price as exchange machines. The ray of light soon finished scanning all the monster material. "Sir, the store will offer you 109,000 credits," the clerk said with her usual polite smile. "Okay, I accept," I said and accepted her offer, and next moment the notification rang out on my holowatch. With the money I got today, I have little more than 150,000. I am feeling happy having this much money in my account. I started to walk toward the medical bay as some of my bones were broken. I entered the med bay flashing my holowatch to door and walk into one of the pod rooms. There is not much medical personnel here, and they only check when there is an emergency. I entered the pod room. The room is small, and there is not much except for the big medical pod and hanger for clothes. I swiftly removed my clothes and entered the pod after flashing my hooch onto it. The pod's door closed, and as I laid inside, soon the whole pod started to fill with viscous green liquid, except for my nose and mouth, which is breathing masked on. These are the healing pods, which are used to heal normal to semi-fatal injuries. They filed with a healing liquid, which could heal injuries. Wounds and broken bones could easily be healed in. We just have spent some time in it. In our town, we only have 2 of these med pods, but there are thousands of them, and to the townspeople, these methods are too expensive to use them. They only used by certain people and only in the emergency. I have spent 4 hours in the healing pod. My surface wounds are healed and bones are set. Still, I have to take a day rest in my apartment to be completely fine. Choo-choo, Ashley called out loudly as she waiting by the pod. She is saying she is feeling very hungry. "Sue, a little glutton," I said as patted her head. I and Ashlyn got out of the medical bay and walked toward one of the food truck. This time we ordered from a different food truck. I hope to take food from all the food trucks. As our order arrived, we started to dig into the food. After eating some bites, I decided to take a photo and upload to the social media. Ashlyn looks up for the photo. She looked up for the photo with an annoying expression, as I was disturbing her from her great hobby of eating. As I posted the photo, it soon got liked and commented. It saw Ron, who commented with silly face emojis. Closing my account, I started to eat again. After we were done eating, I ordered the hover car for our apartment. I had started to feel tired and dozed off a little while I was in the car. As soon as I reached my apartment, I slept on the bed without changing. This is one of the perks of living alone. If I was in my home, Mother would have given me an earful if I ever did that. But many times I hope I were in my home or my parents were here. Some might say I'm homesick or I'm being crybaby, but it is as I am. When I woke up, it's already mid-morning, and I'm feeling good except for a little sore muscle. My body's healing speed increased even since I've completed the first set of the exercise. I have to take rest today, as recommended by MedPod. So I thought, why not read? I haven't read Audiobook ever since I found in the forest, but before that have freshened up myself and get something to eat for me and Ashlyn. The Complete Mysterious of Totems by Alexander Copperfield. This is the book that I found in that data storage relic. I haven't had time to read this book ever since I roughly overviewed in the forest. This will be my first time seriously reading it. I started to read it and soon became engrossed in it, as its content is really interesting and the things written here is a treasure trove of knowledge for me. Books first give an introduction about the totems. The first totem is constructed at lieutenant grade, right after one level up to lieutenant grade for master grade. Constructing totem is not a simple thing as it has various conditions attached to. First, there's only one chance in constructing totem, right after one level up to lieutenant grade. If one missed it, then his chance is gone and only will get his next chance when one level up to marshal grade. The second condition is one's mana purity have to over 70%. Without enough mana purity, there is no chance of constructing totem. Totems are divided into 3 grades: low grade, medium grade, and high grade. Low grade totems are those who made when mana purity is below 80%. Medium grade totems are made when mana purity is below 90%, and high grade totems are made when mana purity is below 100%. When humans first started to make totems, they used the inspiration from the monster and used to construct their totems in beast form, and there is another reason to it as well, as it required very few materials to construct. But as time passed, the techniques also advanced, and people started to construct more lethal and more efficient totems. In today's age, most of the people construct their totems in weapon forms, as they are more lethal and easy to use, and most importantly, magical artifacts can't compare to the totemic weapons. Currently, I am using grade 1 magical artifact, which is my sword, but if I were to use grade 2 artifact, it won't activate in my hand. Even specialist grade won't able to activate grade 2 magical artifacts. Only corporal grade and above evolvers can do that. The totemic weapons are completely different. They give major enhancement to their user that magical artifact can't do, and totems take half the energy to operate than a magical artifact. The thing that startles me most in the book is that it says a man can construct 7 totems in total. Although to create 7 totems, one had to become very powerful evolver. 7 totems. I used to think that man can only construct 2 totems, one at lieutenant grade and other at marshal stage, but I didn't think there would be more totems and higher grades of the revolver. The introduction is an easy part of the books. The next comes the runes which help in the construction of the totem. There are thousands and thousands of runes, and every run with different meaning, and the most tiring thing are it takes a lot mental energy to read the runes. I thought these runes were like normal world easy to read and write, but I was wrong. As I kept reading, I kept feeling tired. It's like they're leeching off my mental energy. Something came into my mind, and I removed the relic storage from my drawer, and compared to the relic storage on the web, I clearly saw a distinction between them. The relic storage discs on market are black and copper, just like mine, but when I looked relic storage that I found, that copper color looked more of gold and extremely tiny runes carved on it which could not be seen by naked eye. I only saw when I took a photo of it and magnified that photo. This relic storage is really special. It must be used to store some special type of data. I kept studying the book whole day, but I felt like I haven't scratched the surface. To read this book, one must have a lot of mental energy. I barely able to keep up till evening. After feeling I've read enough, I closed the window and laid on the bed and shut my eyes for a while. I'm feeling really drained reading that book, but I found it very interesting. If I hadn't been feeling really tired, I would have read it till night. I have decided to study that book 1 hour a day if I could ever reach the lieutenant grade. Choo-choo. I was just going to shut eye for the few minutes, but I slept for an hour. I only woke up because of Ashlyn's chirp. Good girl, I said as I patted her head as I woke. It's good thing Ashlyn woke me up, or I wouldn't have had good sleep in the rest of the night. I order a meal for us. It's still an hour early for us to eat, but seeing Ashlyn feeling hungry, I decided to order the food. It didn't take long to food to arrive. In 10 minutes, the drone delivered our food. Choo-choo, Ashley called out as I putting boxes on the table. I smiled seeing that. This glutton always will be glutton. I opened the box for her to eat, and also opened mine to eat. This monster food is really delicious. No matter how many times you eat, it will always be delicious. As I am eating, I'm also browsing the web. In the yesterday fight, I have to face some harsh reality. In this world, power is not enough. It also need good equipment to augment it. If I had armor-type magical artifact yesterday, not many of my bones were broken, or I had shoes-type magical artifacts, lots of my injuries would have been avoidable. The thing is, there are a lot of magical artifacts and potions, so I didn't get succumbed to the fatal injuries or worse death when I was adventuring outside. It's good thing is I've earned some money while adventuring, so I could afford to buy armor-type magical artifact. The normal grade 1 magical artifacts start from 50,000 credits, and that's only for the lowest grade 1 artifact. The lowest armor grade magical artifacts starts from 100,000, and I am currently browsing through them. There are thousands of different kind of magical artifacts. Some artifacts' price had even reached near million credit, which is also starting price of the grade 2 magical artifacts. I kept browsing for the armor-type magical artifacts. There are hundreds of them, and their price had reached up to 500,000 credits. I selected the one which is best for my current price range. It is one lowest quality in grade 1 magical artifacts, but it has one specialty that attracted me most. The quick activation and deactivation method of it. My private stage mana is not sufficient enough that I constantly kept using armor-type magical artifact, and I have to use it only when the need arises. This armor I can activate in moments. On the outside, it looked like light armor gray west, but as soon as it activated, it would spread all over my body from neck to the feet in 2 seconds. I had cost me 120,000 credits, and my shopping isn't over. I've yet to buy a healing potion. I let out a small sigh as I looked at the total bill of shopping. It is 15300 credits, except for magical artifacts and a healing potion. I also brought 2 mana potions. I had 3 mana potions, but I had used 2 of them in my 2 trips to the outside. I again decide to buy another 2, in case an emergency occurs. I only have 6,000 something in my account, which would last me for a week. After placing an order, I resumed my eating. It will take half an hour for them to make a delivery. I am very eager to see my new artifact, which I brought from my own hard-earned money. Tap, tap. I was just putting Ashlyn and my dinner boxes into the trash when tapping sound rang out from the balcony door. When I looked up to see, it is a delivery drone that was tapping on my window. I quickly opened the balcony door to take my package from the delivery drone. After closing the balcony door, I took my package to bed and began to open its packaging. There's a big white box inside, and when I open the box, I find there are 3 glass vials in gray west. The 2 glass vials are of mana potions, and 1 is of healing potions. The armor-type artifact looked like gray waste. I took out from the box and wore. It is 3 kilograms in weight, but it felt light as a feather after wearing it. I activated the armor by instilling my mana into 2, and soon it started to cover my body from neck to toe. It just looks like I am wearing a training suit. I move my hands and feet to see if it obstruct any of my movement, but when I moved my hands and feet, I didn't feel any obstruction on my movements. I removed the west and put it back in my wardrobe and vials in the drawer. I decided to read the monster encyclopedia before sleeping. I have come across some monsters outside that I can't seem to identify. I was good that they were the low-level monster that I easily able to kill. If they were in specialist grade, I would have suffered a little while fighting them. I had read for about 2 or 3 hours before I fell into sleep. While reading, when I woke up the next day, I was already early morning, and I was woken by Ashlyn. I petted her for some time before going to freshen up. From today, I decided to concentrate on training mine and Ashlyn. Till now, I felt like we have been using our abilities like newbies. Although we are newbies, I want to train our powers, so it could be lethal in fights. Let's go, Ashlyn. I said to Ashlyn. It took me an hour to get out of my apartment. I had to massage Ashlyn feathers and ate the breakfast before getting out of my apartment. I had already booked the room for me and Ashlyn to train. One had to pay an additional few hundred credits to use the training facility, which is specially designed for training monsters. Soon I reached the floor, which is specially designed for monster training. I had already booked the special training room. The training room looks like normal with various targets to shoot, but it is equipped with a high sensor which can track small progress of both human and monster. Ashlyn, summon the fireball and try to confidence that fire. I said to Ashlyn, "Choo-choo." Ashlyn cried out enthusiastically and started to summon a palm-sized fireball in front of her. She quickly summons a palm-sized silver fireball. Good. Now try to condense it. I said, "Chew." She chirped as if understanding and tried to condense it. Her eyes are full of concentration as she tried to convince that fireball, but there was no change in that fireball. Choo-choo. She chirped and again concentrated. There was no change in its size except for shaking a little. Boom! She threw fire in one of the targets in frustration. Seeing there was not a single scratch appear on the target, she became more frustrated. Ashlyn, try again, I said. She started to summon another palm-sized fireball. Ashlyn is moody and throws tantrum now in them, but she has one quality in her that she is diligent. Throwing tantrum or being moody, she has always been diligent. She never gives up in the hallway. She will only back down when her wishes are met. I also summoned Silver Fireball in my form and try to condense it. I tried applying pressure on it, but it wouldn't budge a single point. For 20 minutes, I'm trying to convince that fireball, but it's no use as my head and back became wet with all the efforts, but not use. Boom! Ashlyn threw another fireball in her frustration as she was not able to do it. I also diffused a fireball in my palm and decided to look into the web. I would have done before coming here, so I wouldn't have wasted this much time. As I started browsing the web for techniques related to the controlling ability, I was in big shock. There were very few, as most of the people don't work on controlling their abilities, as this work is done by half skills and skills. They just have to move air ability in a certain sequence to use skills. So who will train in controlling their ability, and most of the people earn enough money to buy skills and half skills from the government. I watched many tutorials, but I did not find any technique that helps my confidence and concentrate my power. Most of these techniques on a high level and need a lot of mental energy. I was just closing a tab when I noticed a pay-per-view video. I've already viewed 2 pay-per-view video, but they had not been useful. Sighing, I decided to give this video also try. I pay 50 credits in video. Started to play. Shit. I said when I looked blue light, the blue light suggested it is water-related power. I had hastily clicked the video without reading it. Well, now that I clicked on it, I may just as well watch. It was the man in his late 20s started to talk about how to make a waterfall more lethal without using any skill. He started to summon a waterfall. The summoned waterfall started to spin slowly. Soon the spinning becoming so fast that I can't notice anything except it spinning. It is not easy as it looks after displaying waterball spinning. He started to give pointers and do and don't while doing it. The technique is pretty good. According to logic, it should able to help me make my fireballs a little condensed and lethal. After closing the video, I again go over all the technique he mentions and started to explain Ashlyn via our telepathy. Choo-choo. She cries out in affirmation. With her highs, she started to summon her fireball according to instructions. Puff! Just as she started to spin her fire, it dissipate with a puff. Without losing her mind on it, she again tried, but second was also failure, so third, fourth, and next, but she never stopped. Seeing her trying so hard, I also started summoning my fireball according to the mentioned technique. Puff! Mine also got puffed at first try. I never expected to succeed in my first, and I again summoned the fireball same way. It puffed many times, but after every try, it will last a moment more. Yes, I said as I was able to maintain swirl for the 5 seconds. 5 seconds is enough for me to summon a fist-sized fireball, but it is very hard to maintain the swirl. To control any ability needs one thing most, is mental energy. With enough mental energy, one can manipulate as however he wishes, but I don't have that kind of mental energy. Only lieutenant grade or above have that kind of energy. The most important thing about this swirling technique is that one has to swirl its core. If the speed of swirling core is enough, it will keep concentrating the power of all fireball in a one place. That would make fireball size will decrease and its lethality will increase. I smiled, looking at the fist-sized fireball, which swirling in my hand for more than 20 seconds. I am feeling extremely tired, and my mana is also drained. This is the last fireball that I could summon for the day, and first fireball that didn't destabilize. But I am happy all the puffs and fuss came to an end as this fist-sized fireball swirling in my hand, and there is no size of disability. Seeing the fireball is stable, I threw it on the target. Boom! The sound rang out, and the lethal score is also projected on the screen. I was shocked seeing its score as it is nearly equal to large fireball, which requires mana than fist-sized fireball. The only problem with that fireball is that it didn't hit the target because it's swirling, it slightly changed its course and missed the target. I have to work on that tomorrow. If I am able to swirl the small fireball, then I can do it with the large in few weeks of training. The main challenge has reduced the timing. No monster will wait for me till my fireball is ready. Chirp, chirp, Ashlyn called out dejectedly. She had come very close to successfully forming a swirling fireball, but it got puffed just as she was ready to throw it. She had tried harder than me. Me successfully forming a fireball just was a fluke. I don't know if I able form tomorrow without few tries. Don't worry. You will succeed tomorrow, I said as I picked her from the floor and leave the training room with her. I will do better tomorrow, I promise myself. As I am waiting for the elevator to come, a girl came from behind and stood beside me waiting for the elevator. I remember her. She was the same girl which I asked the question about the machine that helps to elevate the pain of the devil's exercise. We looked at each other but didn't talk and waited for the elevator. Soon the elevator came, and we both went inside. When the elevator reached my flood and I was getting out, she also came out with me and walked toward the door which is beside mine. Looks like she is my neighbor. I didn't do much when I went to my apartment. I took a quick bath to clean my sweat-filled body and ordered food with the Ashlyn. I thought about reading little, but I fell into sleep as soon as I laid on the bed. Beep. I woke up by a message tone from my watch. It was a message from the gym telling me we will go for training 4 days later. I totally forget about that. I mumble as I get out from the bed. It's already been 8 days. I've already planned on going outside 2 days later. Now I have a whole 4 days for practicing. I should be able to make some small progress on my ability in 4 days. Jim's message said, we will leave in 4 days. In this time, I've solely decided to train on my ability. After freshening up and eating, I leave for the training. Let's start. Ashlyn, I said, as I started to summon the swirling fireball. Choo-choo. Ashlyn cried out enthusiastically, and the fire started to materialize in front of her beak. Puff! The fireball in my hand puffed as it was gaining traction. I didn't feel dejected looking at the puff fireball. I knew that yesterday's attempt in successfully summoning fireball was a fluke, but because of that I understood the process and it will take just a little more time. Boom! Ashlyn threw a successfully formed fireball. It is also fist-sized, but it packed the punch of palm-sized fireball, and it also hit the off-target just like mine. Choo-choo! Ashlyn gave happy chirp as she successfully formed the swirling fireballs. Very good, Ashlyn, I said as I petted her head. I also keep trying to successfully form the swirling fireball. It didn't take long as I thought. After 1.5 hours constantly trying, I formed my second successful fireball. And within 4 hours, I perfectly got hang of it without failing once just like Ashlyn. Now what I have to do is work on its summoning time and my aim. It takes 16 seconds to successful form, but it is not enough if it takes that much time in the fight. My opponent will kill me 2 times over. Because the fireball is swirling, it will change in trajectory little in the air, and if the target is far, it will miss the target altogether, just like it did with mine and Ashlyn fireballs. We both started to work on the 2 weakness, trying a different approach on the fireball. I started to modify a technique which suits me. Most of them unsurprisingly failed, but one did work, and it helped me to lessen the time by 2 seconds. Every time you practice something for enough time, you start to develop the rhythm of your own, which suits you most. Ashlyn had tried to swirl the palm-sized fireball, but it puffed as soon as she summoned. I have not tried because I know to swirl the fireball need more mental energy than fist-sized fireball. Ashlyn, do the normal fireballs, I said to her, seeing trying will be worthless. First she did not listen to me, but after repeated failures, she again started on the normal fireballs. I practiced till evening. By the time I finished for the day, I already brought down the timing of summoning a fireball to the 12 seconds, and my aim is also improved as well. The repeated training with my ability has also improved my control with the ability. Its lethalness has improved 5% to 7%, and mana consumption has come down to 10%. If I continue practicing, It will help me a lot now, and in the future, I have read that those have extreme control over their abilities. They can make their abilities transformed into fine threads and needles. Time passes on, and it is already fourth day. Tomorrow I will go outside with him. So, today I decided to fight Android. I will not use a sword, just my ability, and Ashlyn will also fight with me. I chose Android. It is in monster form and looked similar to Hog species monster. I chose its combat level at LV.1 Specialist. If I were using my sword, it would be easy for me to defeat it, but with using ability, it is hard to say. I will find out when I attack it. Grunt. I commanded the start of the fight. Grunt. It grunted like real hog monster and come to attack me as Ashlyn is in the air. I started to summon Fireball as it comes toward me. It comes closer to as I was summoning the Fireball, but I dodge its attack. Grunt. It grunted as it missed the attack. I startled because the swirling Fireball I was summoning got puffed as my mind diverted for the second. Boom! My mind was diverted, but Ashlyn not. She attacked with worries that gave me to dodge. It's another attack. It is as I expected. In midst of fighting, it is very difficult to summon a swirling Fireball. I didn't waste time and readily started to summon another Fireball. I didn't stop at that. I started to circulate the third movement of the exercise as I was having difficult problem dodging its attacks. But most important reason is to give myself pressure as in real combat. I will be circulating the moves of the Supreme Combat exercise, and I have to have practice of successfully able summon Fireball amidst fight and bearing pain of the exercise. The fights go on. In the first 2 hours, I was able to create a single swirling Fireball and only kept dodging. The only one attacking is Ashlyn as she is flying. She bore no pressure of fight and continued to rain down Fireball after Fireball. Many times in the fight, I sensed her enjoying my misery as I kept dodging and wasn't able to attack for a single time. Grunt. It roar as I dodge another it attacks. I have to say this android is a way too similar to the monster. If it was in its silvery form and I hadn't seen its metal parts, I would have thought is a real monster. Yes, I said as I created my first swirling Fireball during the fight. I've been feeling really miserable as I haven't able to launch a single attack on it. Boom! Rang out as I attack it. It feels really good to attack it, but the sad thing is my attack's damage isn't that strong. Ashlyn has thrown nearly 100 Fireballs, and its life bar is half empty. I kept attacking it. More than half of my Fireballs had diffused without even forming, but still, Ashlyn and I able to beat it together with little more than an hour later. After resting for some 10 minutes, we again started to fight as there is a whole day left. We fight total 6 times with Monster in the whole day, and last 2 fights were able to beat it within an hour, and my success rate in summoning Fireball had also increased to 78%. When we left the training room at evening, we were both sweat-ridden and extremely tired, but it was worth it. We have made a lot of progress, and it will enough for my tomorrow's trip with him. Today is a day when I and Jim will go outside for the hunting. I have made all the preparations and also brought some things which may need in hunting the monsters. Jim had just messaged me that he will meet me in half an hour outside my building. I've already eaten and packed my backpack. I am just waiting half an hour to pass. A half hour passed as I was reading the news. I lifted my backpack and exit my apartment with Ashlyn. I stood outside my apartment building waiting for Jim to come. I was just waiting when I saw Bert come out of building with another young man. He looked similar to Bert, just a little older. He must be Robert's elder brother. When Bert's and my eyes met, his facial features became a little distorted. A mixture of anger and shame could be seen on his face. He said something to his brother, and his brother also looked at me with anger in his eyes and started walking towards me. I can clearly see the complacent expression on Bert's face. I don't know what Bert's problem is. Ever since I beat him, whenever we met outside or in training facilities, he always looked as if he wants to kill me. It was just a little spar. He may have been carried away in the fight by his emotions, but it was still just spar. There is no need to show anger. As they were walking toward me, I just stood there. Even if his brother is powerful enough to beat me, he will not do anything here as we are just outside our apartment building. So, a hover car suddenly landed in front. Is the sleek black armor type and looked very powerful. It is from Trident, one of the best brands out there, and are insanely expensive. They are especially known for their solid defense. Sup? It door opened, and Jim's voice rang out from inside the car. Get in, Michael. We are already late. Someone has been grumping being late. Jim said I walked toward the car without caring as Bert and brother, who were stopped on their tracks, seeing the car. As I was entering the car, I noticed there is the very beautiful girl sitting in. I already had noticed that there's someone in the car, but her view hidden by Jim's. The most striking thing about her is her shoulder-length, shiny purple hair. They looked very striking on her. In her lap has cute lynx monster cub that I hadn't seen before. Normally, lynx monsters have this fur and black hairs above their ears, and they have an aggressive look in their eyes, while this lynx monster cub is a complete furball. Although lynx have thick fur, they're not furball like this one. This is a complete furball. If not for the thick line of hair above it and its padded claws, which are lynx known for, I would have thought of it any other lynx monster. This monster has golden/orange fur with purple spots from which purple bolts of lightning could be seen traveling all over it. As I took a seat beside Jim, the door automatically starts. The front part is blocked. I can't see if it is an automatic car or someone is driving away. Michael, this is my girlfriend Sarah. He introduced me to the purple hair girl. Hello. I said. She nodded with a small smile. I'm always a little awkward meeting new people. We stayed silent for a while during the ride, but then I noticed we hadn't really planned anything, and me completely clueless. Jim, where are we hunting monsters? I asked, as he brought his girlfriend. He must surely have made a plan. The only idiot will invite his girlfriend without a plan. I decided on the outskirt of Mist Valley. There are a lot of initial levels specialist grade monster and only 15 minutes away from the signal range, he said enthusiastically. I have to say, he really made a great choice. Mist Valley is also on my list when I choosing on a location for hunting. The reason I had chose Austin Lake, because it's less dangerous. Mist Valley is one of the optimum areas for the hunting. It is filled with monsters. It also very good scenic spots, so one can enjoy good scenery while hunting in a valley. It is called Mist Valley because the whole valley filled with light fog all year around. But there is one problem with the valley, that most of the monster are in groups. Most of the people who hunt in the Mist Valley are hunts in groups because of the large amount of monster there. We didn't stop at Mista Bazaar, as we have everything we need in our backpack. It will take us about half an hour to reach our location. The ride was silent, as everyone doing their thing. I was studying the very detailed map of Mist Valley that Jim had just passed me. It is the most detailed map I've ever seen. The detailed map of Austin Lake that I had brought looked nothing front of it. I try to memorize the map, as I didn't want to project it every minute to see that I am walking in the right direction. The current Jim and the Jim I know 2 weeks ago are completely different. I am really confused as more than I was 2 weeks ago. First time I'd seen Jim, when he was fighting rat monsters, he was wearing normal clothes and had only grade 1 sword in his hand. He seemed normal except for his little cultured manners. But today's Jim completely different. He is riding in very expensive and wearing at least 4 magical artifacts, and I can sense little difference in him. I'm not confused about the expensive car or magical artifacts, as I know his parents are very rich and he lives in Center Ring. What I am confused about, why wasn't he wearing any of his artifacts 2 weeks ago? It was that they took a lot of space. They're just like normal clothing, just a little heavier. And most importantly, any of his parents hadn't come to visit him at the hospital. If my parents had known I was in the hospital, they would have booked ticket to next train, no matter how expensive it is. Anyway, it's not my business to pry into his affairs, and we're not that great friends that I ask him about such personal thing. The hover car landed in the outskirts of Mist Valley. The 3 of us got out and started to walk toward the valley. We were only going to hunt outskirts of the valley. That is where the most initial level specialist grade monsters roam. Light mist could be seen as we were walking toward the entrance of the mist. It is very light and unobstructed to eyes. It is also this mist that gave this valley name of Mist Valley. Buzz! My watch vibrated, signaling it had lost the signal. We don't talk much as we walk. Sarah is leading the way and looking at how confidently she is walking. She must be familiar. I can't sense her power level, but I am pretty sure she's more powerful than me and Jim both combined. We didn't encounter any powerful monsters on the way. There was some low-level monster who attacked us, but soon were cut down by us. It's only been half an hour since we entered the Misty Valley. It really is beautiful, as people say. Small streams of crystal-like water could be seen, and many monsters drinking from it. It feels serene and peaceful, but it did not long to turn this peaceful environment to dangerous one as long as strong monster shows up. When we were walking past the small stream, we heard the sounds of fighting. Sound seemed to come from far. We can hear it faintly. Sarah and Jim started to walk toward the sound. There seemed to be a lot of monsters fighting. We shouldn't go there. I said, the little power fluctuation I am feeling, these monsters are definitely at specialist grade. Nothing will happen. We are only looking, and if it's dangerous, we could always run, Jim said. Sarah and Jim did not listen to me and kept walking closer to the monsters fight scene. I really wanted to bolt out of there. From the sound, I can tell how dangerous these monsters are. Still, I gritted my teeth and followed behind them. We didn't have to walk that long. In 10 minutes, we reached from where we can see the monsters fighting. Please, God, have mercy. I prayed in my mind and started back down from the scene slowly, because the monsters that we are seeing are one of the most vicious monsters on the continent. They are razor-teeth hyenas. There are 6 of them, and 2 biggest ones are fighting each other. While 4 are watching the fight, they seem to fight for the domination of the pack or something. Razor-teeth hyenas, these monsters are very dangerous. They are known as razor-teeth hyenas because of their teeth. They are sharp enough to cut through steel as it is cheese. There is no need to think what they will do if any of my body parts come into their teeth. I started to curse this boyfriend-girlfriend pair. Why do they have to be curious? I told them it is very dangerous, but they didn't listen. There are more than 50% chance is that I will die here if the hyena monsters notice us. Bam! I paled, my back drenched with sweat, because just now, when 2 bigger hyenas collided, we got the clear sense of their power. Their state is clearly higher than LV.1 specialist grade. Probably they're LV2 specialist grade monsters. We will definitely die if they sense of us. 3 of us are silently retreating from our spot. It is a good thing they hadn't noticed us. If they got the smell of us, they will forget their fight and come to kill us as a pack. Shush! A soft whisper of wind come from behind and fly towards the hyena monsters. Fuck! Jim and I cursed as hyena monster stopped fighting as looked toward us. I cursed this fucking wind. If it hadn't blown behind us, these hyena monsters wouldn't have noticed us. Our stalemate of eyes lasted for the moment before the pack of hyenas ran toward us. There are very, very few chances of me coming out of this alive, but I wouldn't go down without fighting. I activated my Grade 1 armor artifact. It quickly encompasses my whole body from head to toe. I also took out my sword and activated it. I will handle 2 bigger one. The rest is up to you too, said Sarah. This is the first time I have heard Sarah speak. On the whole journey, she was silent. Her body started to exclude power. I wasn't surprised when I sensed her power. It is peak of private grade. Sarah, is at LV 3 of private grade. Her voice is melodies but firm. I hadn't given look to her, as all my attention on hyena monsters, but when I look at her, her whole body donning beautiful purple armor with beautiful runes all over it. Her whole body is cased in armor, not even eyes could be seen. It's called armor, but technically is suited. With such tight-fitting suit, every curve of her beautiful body could be seen. The armor is not a single entity, but a suit made of a collection of 6 different Grade 1 artifacts. Helmet, armor, shoes, 2 short swords in both of her hands, and a light glowing bracelet that is in her right hand. Not only she, but Jim is also wearing the same type of armor, just that he is scarlet red. I wonder why hadn't he wore any part of suit 2 weeks ago when we were fighting in the tunnel. I am so confused right now, because I know for that fact that Private Grade Evolve cannot use more 2 Grade 1 artifact, but these 2 people using more than 5. Choo-choo. Ashlyn also comes out of me. Not only her Jim's palm-sized black snake and Sarah's furball lynx also had come out. The razor-teeth hyenas already halfway, and it will take them a few seconds to come at us. We have already taken our position. At a certain distance from each other, we are far enough that we could not disturb each other in the fight, but near enough to reinforce each other if one needs. I lightened my sword with fire. The fire sword little different than before. The fire of the fire sword little condensed, although the change is minute and very hard to see. The hyenas are about 100 meters away from us. The attack will come in seconds. I quickly started to go over all the important characteristics of razor-teeth hyenas. Remembering 1 extra point will make difference in life and death. Razor-teeth hyenas are swift, famous for their deceitful attacks. If the enemy is stronger, they will bleed it by their deceitful attacks slowly before killing it, and they have only one weakness: it's their defense.